Radio 560 WQAM Miami. Sports Radio 560 WQAM Miami Fort Lauderdale presents the Neil Rogers Show. Call 567-0560 toll free for Dade and Broward or pound 560 on your cell phone. The opinions of Neil, his guests, callers, or anyone else on the show do not necessarily reflect those of WQAM, Beasley Reed Acquisition, or the Beasley Broadcast Group. Now, Neil Rogers on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
It's Friday, you bastard.
Only in the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami. At 560 WQM. Happy Friday to you. Same old tired crap over and over. It's called neurotic repetition is what it's called. I'm going to tell you right now four of the biggest enemies of this town. Four of the biggest enemies of life as we would like to have it in this town. Their names are Channel 4, Channel 6, Channel 7, and Channel 10, and probably 23 and 51, but I don't watch those anyway. Your TV stations trying desperately, and guess what? It didn't work. That's the best part of the whole deal. Trying desperately to whip everybody up into a frenzy. Like I always said,
the media is sick and needs help badly.
That is absolutely correct, Tammy. It's the only true thing you ever said in your life. And wipe that mascara off your ugly puss. Same old neurotic repetition, like I said, and just trying to make something out of nothing. All afternoon yesterday, all stinking afternoon. Thank God for the satellite dish, by the way, as far as anybody wants to watch Guiding Light or their favorite soap operas, because most people don't want to get up at 1:30 in the morning or tape the show. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, all the shows you want to watch, 1:35 in the morning we'll run those and get your VCR going. No, I don't want to watch the goddamn VCR. I want to see it now.
I want my cigarettes, Nurse Ratched.
That's right. I want it my way. I want, and that's what this thing is all about. Like a bunch of spoiled little brats. And the problem in this town is that when you see, it's like with your kids. When your kids throw a temper tantrum and you cave in the first time, and you say, okay, just to try to calm them down and shut them up. Then they figure, hey, it worked. I'm going to keep doing it over and over again. And every time I want to have something done my way, every time things don't get done my way, I'll go out there and throw a tantrum again and block off the streets and piss everybody off. Yeah, but you're pissing everybody off. Well, they don't care. See, that's the thing a lot of you don't understand, is that the people who are out there, the hysterical, obnoxious people out there blocking off the streets and acting like a bunch of 10th world country people, they don't care whether they're pissing you off or not. Because this is what they've been conditioned to do. When you get pissed off, go out there in the streets. And by the way, all you young punks out there, every group that protests, whether it's blacks or Spics or Jews or whoever it is, every time there's some kind of a thing going on where the TV cameras are fixed on, you always see a bunch of young punks out there having a little party in the street. And as soon as the cameras go on, hey, bada-beep, bada-boop, and they're jumping up and down and juking and jiving. And if you take them out of the equation, it doesn't leave much of anything at all. It doesn't leave much at all. And by the way, Metro Police, let's hear it. Let's give 55 stars to the Metro Police for a great job yesterday. And the Miami Police, that's what they deserve. You guys suck. Not necessarily individually, but as far as the policy yesterday, which I realize the individual cops don't make the policy. But, here are the Metro Police. They went out there. They said, we're not going to let you take over the streets. And they arrested about 50 people. And all of a sudden, after the word got out that all these people were arrested, you notice how fast those streets cleared out yesterday afternoon? But even when there was nobody there except cops, the TV cameras are still grinding away and grinding away and grinding away and grinding away. And they've got the chutzpah to go on the air and say, well, the crowds are very small right now, but of course as people are watching this, as the afternoon goes on and people get out of work, it's likely to become very massive and vivid and massive. Did it become vivid and massive?
No.
No, it did not. But the city of Miami police out there on Flagler Street, Red Road at Flagler and the 61st at Flagler last night, they let people go out there and take over the streets. The streets are for traffic. The streets are for driving, as a couple of those people found out, by the way. When the guy in the red car went to bada bing, hey, I got to get somewhere, get out of my way, or I'm going to floor it. Yeah, too bad. The streets are for traffic. You want to protest on the sidewalk? Protest on the sidewalk. Not in the middle of the street. But at the most I ever saw, and I watched a lot of it yesterday afternoon, because that's all that there was. The most I would say 200-300 people at any point downtown. And again, Metro cops, great job. Nice going, boys. Miami police, a disgrace. Because, again, weak need, let them go out there, take over Flagler Street. What kind of crap is that? And here's all these guys, all these poor truckers. I know we have a lot of truckers who listen to this show, all these poor guys who are trying to take their load, if I can say that, into the port of Miami there. They're trying to do their job. And they have to be backed up for miles and miles. I'm coming to work this morning. I'm coming down the turnpike, and there was a bad wreck on the northbound on the other side. And I'm looking and I'm seeing traffic is backed up for miles on the northbound turnpike. Probably still is. And I'm thinking to myself, when you're driving, when you have a life to live and you have to go to work, you got to go to the doctor, whatever it is that you have to do, sometimes actually important. It's bad enough just on an ordinary day trying to survive driving on the roads of this town. I had a guy, I'm coming out University this morning, going to 595, and then my light turns green, and some asshole in a van, he makes a right on red, which I'm in the middle lane, okay, but now all of a sudden he's cutting across the lanes. Thank God for having a fast Corvette that was able to haul ass and get around this stupid son of a bitch. Crazy, irresponsible person. So just ordinarily trying to live your life in this town or any big city is tough enough, trying to make your way through the goddamn highways and all the assholes out there. But putting up with this crap, the answer is absolutely, positively, no, unacceptable. And I'm going to say it right off the bat. I could sit here for the next 4 hours and make the most eloquent case for Elián González staying here. I could also sit here for the next 4 hours and make the most eloquent case for him going back and being with Daddy, okay? But like George said yesterday, what does it got to do with the price of rice? Does it have anything to do with my life?
No.
Does it have anything to do with anybody in this town?
No.
No. Does it impact on our lives?
No.
This is strictly a pissing contest. That's all it is. Who's going to get the brownie points? Is it going to be Fidel, God forbid, or is it going to be the crazy people in this town? It hasn't got anything to do with this poor little 6-year-old kid. Like I said, he's like the wishbone at Thanksgiving. We got Fidel and his crazy people on the one side pulling one leg in one direction, and we got the crazy people in this town pulling on the other. And the tip-off yesterday during the 85,000 hours of coverage when they were praying that something would develop when there was almost nobody out there, and one of the so-called spokespeople says, oh, but here, Elián pointed out he's a symbol of this. Yeah, symbol, exactly. Not that he's a human being. And by the way, don't insult me by going out in the streets yelling Libertad. You people that are out there blocking the streets, you wouldn't know Libertad from your goddamn rectum. Okay, don't feed me that pile of dog crap. Libertad when it's convenient for you, when you want to get your way, when Los Van Van wants to sing here, or when some artist wants to display his, whatever it is, or when somebody wants to go on the air and express a viewpoint that's different from yours. Like the poor black guy that had the misfortune on Wednesday out there in front of the INS building at Biscayne and 79th Street to express a different point of view. And there was one guy, I'll never forget the hysteria on this guy's face. Guy in his 30s with glasses and a green shirt. You effing communist! You effing communist! And he's pointing and screaming, and the cameras showed a close-up, and you could see the veins popping out of this guy's head. He was so psychotic. Because this other guy dared to have a different opinion. Effing communist! So don't give me no libertad crap. Freedom is in the minds of these people who are out there in the streets, freedom is only what they decide it's going to be. And you can say what they think is okay, and you can perform if you're okay with them. But if you're not, then you got problems. Then your freedoms all disappear. So talk about a bunch of hypocrites. Libertad, my fat ass, okay? You wouldn't know liberty if it stuck you right in the goddamn puss. Phony, phony, baloney. But the good news is that it was only a handful of people. Bunch of silly old people who just are never going to let go, and a bunch of kids out there having a party in the streets. And that's pretty much it. 10 past 10 at 560 WQM.
No portion of this broadcast may be reproduced without the express written permission of WQAM Beasley Reed Acquisition Corp.
Only in the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
Oh, where can my little dog be? My little dog be, my little dog be. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. Oh, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I do wonder where you are. Jack and Jill went up a hill to fetch a pail of water.
1013 at 560 WQM. The good news is Channel 7, Channel 6, Channel 4, Channel 10, maybe even the No Speak English channels, have got the regular programming on today. Let's hear it.
Oh!
Irresponsible. You're a bunch of grave-robbing assholes, okay? I am so ashamed to be even connected in any way, shape, or form with what is known as the local media in this town. And by the way, speaking of ashamed, I don't want to even go into it because Wednesday afternoon I'm driving home from my mother's around 3:30, and I heard what the Humper had to say about the Cecil Collins thing and try to wash it away. You know, when you make a mistake when you're wrong, admit that you're wrong, okay? Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. Even...
Oh, God!
That's right. When you're wrong, Fatso, okay? So why not come on and admit, why not try to wash it away? Embarrassing. I'm humiliated for him. And I'm humiliated for what passes as the media in this gutless, spineless town. Hour after hour after hour. And, of course, here's Elliot Rodriguez, and here's all these other objective people like Rick Sanchez last night. You know, you don't belong on the air, Rick. In fact, when something like this happens, you ought to be disqualified from being on the air. They ought to drag your ass off the anchor desk and make you just squat over the bay. Squat over the towers there behind the building. Comes on last night. They've got this woman correspondent in Havana who's been given the father's side of the story on all this, and he starts pontificating about the National Council of Churches wanting to be the intermediary to bring the boy back to Cuba. And he's doing editorial comments, and well, you know, the National Council of Churches tied in with the Cuban Council of Churches, but a quote, of course, for comunista, and she comes back with a very she said the National Council of Churches represents churches that have a membership of 56 million people in the United States. I think it's a little irrational to start calling them all communists. And yes, they do get involved in unpopular causes like in Iraq and a lot of other places in the world, but nevertheless, that's their history. They've always done that. Comunista, comunista, comunista. And as long as I live, I'll never forget the image because they replayed it several times of the guy with the green shirt and the glasses down there at 79th and Biscayne. You're an effing communist. You're an effing communist. All you have to do is have a different opinion and you're a communist, but libertad, libertad. Libertad for this little 6-year-old boy that they couldn't give a flying crap less about. But not for the rest of us who have a different opinion. And the rest of us who don't think that airing your grievances means going out and blocking the streets every time you get pissed off and don't get your way like a spoiled little brat. It's just unacceptable. And by the way, there we did again. You know, here just on the heels, just a couple of days ago, they're bragging. Here's Mayor Pinga Pequeña, and here's the police chief from Dade County. Oh, yeah, look at these crime statistics, and it's way down, and the murders are way down, and, you know, all those days of the tourists being scared. And now what do we have on CNN and the lead stories on most of the nightly newscasts? Same old. They're out there carrying on in the streets again, blocking off traffic, pissing everybody off. And thanks to your local media, they made a mountain out of a molehill because, quite frankly, like they showed last night, Channel 7, Hialeah, 49th Street. Do you know how many people were out there? Maybe 20. I'd say more like a dozen, standing on the curb. And by the way, nice going Hialeah police. Oh! Nice going there, Raul. They were terrified that if they went out in the street, Raul would come and beat the crap out of them. Nice going, Raul. who never stole a freight train but came pretty, I think he got the caboose. That's the way to do it. So Metro-Dade, nice job. Hialeah, beautiful job. City of Miami, a disgraceful job. Caving in, letting people take over the streets. The streets are for vehicles. They're for driving, not for protest, especially people who don't even have a permit to protest. If you're going to have a parade, if you're going to have a march, if you're going to have like a major orchestrated demonstration, you have to get a permit for that. If you want to demonstrate in front of a building, you know, like they were at the INS building, you can do that on the sidewalk, orderly, peacefully, but not blocking off the streets of this community. And so anyway, we have an appearance scheduled at Nick's tomorrow between noon and 2, and we've had some interesting debate about that here this morning, whether we should go ahead and do it. And our inclination is to go ahead and be there, noon to 2 at Nick's. That's 7111 West Flagler. The McCarty girls are going to be there with rum samples, which is why George is adamant about wanting to be there. And, of course, free cigars, which is even more reason why you're adamant about
free
being
beer,
there.
free
sampling
booze.
of Anheuser-Busch's new products, tequila and rum. Free beer, free booze and babes, and free cigars.
McCarty girls, right?
Like I said. So George is adamant. In fact, even if we cancel the appearance, he's going down there. But as of now, we'll be there noon to 2 tomorrow. Depending, of course, as the day goes on, of how much more hysteria goes on there on Flagler Street and whether or not the City of Miami police want to allow the streets to be chaos. Absolutely, positively unacceptable what they permitted on Flagler Street last night. They must not be watching very carefully what Metro-Dade was able to do. Get the people out of the streets, and if they don't want to get out, you arrest them. That's it. That's the way it works. You want to protest, stand on the sidewalk and protest and wave your little flags and scream, Libertad, Libertad, Libertad. And like I said, you can make the most eloquent argument in the world. You know, the boy's mother and her boyfriend risked their lives to bring this boy from communism for a better life to America, even though it was very irresponsible, by the way. And, and of course he would be dead right now if it weren't for the two fishermen in Pompano Beach that found him floating in a goddamn inner tube out there, which everybody seems to be forgetting about how responsible and courageous she was. The word is irresponsible. But nevertheless, he got here, and you could make a very eloquent argument. Don't send him back to a communist country. And I understand that. I can very easily see that perspective. But that's not the issue here. The issue is that this is a government of laws, and the INS makes their ruling based on those laws. And here we got a bunch of people, as usual, making up things as they go along. Oh, the Constitution is. Isn't that interesting? And by the way, the same right-wing Republicans that these people embrace so much are the ones who are so anti-immigration and made the laws that are going to wind up sending him back. Not the Democrats and not Bill Clinton, whom they revile so much because he's a Democrat. Comunista, comunista, comunista. You see, there you go. See, you can't complain about the Cuban community's understanding of politics in America because they don't have any. They don't get it. And when you're trying to reason with people whose actions are only motivated by irrational hysteria and emotion, can you reason with people like that?
No.
No. But like I said, the good news is that there weren't that many of them. That's the good news. The bad news is that the media made a feeding frenzy out of this. And let me say it again. You people I can't speak for the Spanish language stations because I don't watch them. I don't understand them. But you people at 4, 6, 7, and 10, what you pulled off yesterday was one of the great disgraces in the history of television. And they just carried on and on and on. And then Channel 4, when they realized that they were going to miss a lot of Oprah, God forbid, because that's the only show they got with any numbers on it, all of a sudden they dropped out of this because Oprah was on. And as soon as they dropped out, all of a sudden, because they monitor each other every time they break away from regular programming, all of a sudden, as soon as one of them lets go of it, the other one let go like a hot potato. And here come those network programming and the syndicated shows back on again. You're a cancer on this community. You people at Channel 4, 6, 7, and 10. I'm embarrassed for us that you're what we have here in the name of the goddamn television media. You're a disgrace. And sitting there and making editorial comments back and forth, and here's Tony Cigaretto. I know when I want to get some real good ideas of sociological impact of what's happening in this community, I'm going to turn into Tony Cigaretto. You know what I'm saying? For a few good laughs. And sloppy valapi. What a joke. But the good news is, so far, so good today. Some guy went down there and beat the crap out of one of the hunger strikers down there this morning. And Mayor Suarez was down there wandering around looking like, going like that. Who am I and where am I? Here's a call from North Miami. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got 2 points of view here. One point of view is how long you think that the riot would have stayed on if that would have been in
what riot
or whatever the protesters. How long you think that would have lasted if they would have done that in Boca Raton?
They wouldn't have done it in Boca Raton.
Right, I know, but if they would have done it up in Broward County, how long do you think it would have lasted?
That's the point, sir. They wouldn't have done it because they know they couldn't have gotten away with it.
Right. And the second point I want to tell you is the people who are inconvenienced with this are the Cubans. So what's the problem with that?
Like I said before, it's like when black people get pissed off and they riot and burn down their own neighborhoods. It doesn't make much sense to me.
There you go.
Okay, have a great day. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. And, of course, if the government had any balls and any brains, what they would have done, at the same time on Wednesday, when this woman from INS was making the announcement, Diane Meisner, whatever the hell her name was, when she was making the announcement, they would have already been making the transfer. And it would have been arranged for the intermediary to be here from the National Council of Churches or some Getchke from the Catholic Church or whoever was going to make the transfer and put him on a nice plane and take him over there and reunite him with his daddy, and then that's it. Over and done with, as opposed to letting this now linger on and opening up the doors for a festering, ugly situation. Do we need any more festering, ugly situations in this town?
No.
We're already beleaguered enough. This town and the people who live in it have taken so much crap in the last 40 years. We don't need to take any more crap.
No.
Enough is enough. We don't need it. We don't deserve it. Here's Dania. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
The comment that you made about the wishbone thing, it brought to mind the story, the old story about King Solomon and the kid who was being fought over. You remember what he said?
No.
Cut the kid in half, give one to each half.
Yeah.
So,
there you go. That might solve it.
Yeah, that's good. That's the solution there. Give the father half, and then give the cousin half.
Leave the right side here because we've got far-right people over here, and the left side of that communist, that far-left Castro. There you go.
Absolutely, and it'll make everybody happy.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much. Okay. There you go. Just chop him in half. A little piece for him, a little piece for us. Because, like I said, he doesn't mean anything. He's not the issue here. There's all kinds of people that could be the issue also, like the Chinese people that were sent back on the Haitian boat. Nobody cares about them. It's brownie points. It's a pissing contest. We want to win. We want to get another win against Fidel. Is that going to change anything?
No.
Just like when the Pope went to Cuba, did anything change?
No.
No. Although, I will say this, Fidel was dressed better, which in his case is saying a hell of a lot to be dressed better than anybody. But in this particular instance, he was. In fact, when we were up there on that stage together there in Havana, remember when the Pope was there, he said to the Pope in Espanol, nice outfit. Here's Margate. Hello.
Hey, good morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
You know what's really interesting is here you got this commissioner down there, Regalado, that's supposed to represent law and order, and he's in the fray of all this. He got in a fist fight, and they were going to arrest him.
Yeah, and he's on there adamantly denying that he's encouraging them to do anything. But then on the other hand, he's rationalizing the fact that people are out there in the streets.
You know, they should have just arrested him and taken him off.
He's an asshole. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I hate to see anybody get hurt one way or another, but when that guy floored it in that red car, I said, amen.
Yeah.
Oh! Okay.
Well, sometimes your brakes just don't work right, at the right time.
I agree.
And have a great day. You see, and Tony Cigaretto did make a good point with Sloppy Valapi there yesterday. They were showing, the handful of people out in the middle of the streets. I forget which way. It was on Biscayne Boulevard, I guess. There were still a few stragglers. And here was a woman with little kids out there in the street. If you want to lay down in the street and put your life at risk, okay, I guess if you're that stupid, go ahead and see if the other guy's brakes might work. But to take your little kids out there and bring them in the street with you, you must be crazy. You must be out of your freaking mind to be doing stuff like that, to jeopardizing your kids' lives.
I must be crazy. I must be nuts.
Well said. Couldn't say it better myself. Here's a mobile in Hialeah. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
2 points. Actually, I was in Hialeah. I'm in North Miami at this point. First, you'll notice that these protests did not take place in Hialeah. And what's the reason for that? The reason is the last time they did this and they were on the street and on the expressway, Mayor Martinez, no matter what you say about him, took the police, They stopped the people. They
Right.
threw them off.
That's what I just said. Hialeah, there were maybe 10 or 15 people on the sidewalk. They wouldn't let them on the street last night, and they know how to handle it right. They're not going to put up with this crap.
And secondly, I don't remember which station it was. When I finally got home last night, and my wife was watching the thing, I said, "Are they still doing this?" And they said, "Yeah, they're going to have another report right now." And one of the reporters, a female reporter, the station switched her, and they had not turned the lights on her yet, but the camera was on.
Yeah.
And you could see the people behind her just milling there,
right,
doing nothing.
Oh, as soon as
and when the lights went on,
like
they started waving flags.
Every time there's any one of these
and
demonstrations in the streets, no matter what the group is, it's the same thing. They're mugging for the cameras. They're playing for the cameras. They sit around like they're having like a circle jerk in the street. And then as soon as the cameras come on, they're Libertad, Libertad. They're holding the signs, and the kids are giving a high sign. It's all a pile of crap. Okay. And there's nothing wrong, I guess, with having a pile of crap as long as it doesn't disrupt the community and give us another black mark. That's the problem. Is it makes us look like it shows everybody that we're a third world country, which we are in Dade County. And the thing with the streets, unacceptable. Letting people go out and block off the streets, absolutely, positively unacceptable. Period. No discussion, no argument, period. And somehow the Miami Police Department doesn't understand that. Metro understood it real well. Hialeah understood it, no problem at all, no questions asked. But City of Miami, what's their response?
Yeah.
Well, that's because Joe Carroyo was too busy hocking the China with Janet Reno, and Janet said,
No.
And by the way, Janet, quit shaking so bad. I realize she's got Parkinson's, but couldn't they have somebody like holding her down? You know what I'm saying? No, seriously, it's 28 after 10 at 5. Couldn't they bring like Michael J. Fox or somebody to hold her down?
Maybe she could hold on to a lead weight.
There you go. I'm not going to say it. Avoid.
Jim Mandich talks sports. Weekend right here on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Only in the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
Somebody once told me you're so full of baloney. You ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. Your presidential run, you think's under your thumb, while Obama thinks you're just a meathead. Well, election's coming and you're in the running. Republicans out for blood, they're gunning. Doesn't make sense, I mean, insofar as when you try to explain what the issues are. When Clinton is out in terms complete, I'll bet you would love to have his seat. The election is touch and go, but your popularity is just so low. Hi now, you are Al Gore. What's your game now? Just say hi now, you are Al Gore. Do we love you? No way, but cheer up, Al, 'cause you know you will probably end up with a bow.
10:32 at 560 WQM. We got Hank at 2. Jimmy Johnson, hey, we got a shot. At 5, Book Shabby at 6, and Orlando, the big Floyd Kaplan, 10 o'clock tonight. You know, look on the front page of the newspapers, and here's the Sun Sentinel on the front page, and you see mostly Metro cops. And you could count, if I had the time, which I won't take it, but you could count, I would say a couple of dozen, maybe 30 people by the Port of Miami. And yeah, there were maybe a couple of hundred people there at one point, 200 or 300. But here at this point, there were like maybe 30 people, and a hell of a lot more cops. And then you look at the picture in the Herald on the front page, passion and protest spread to the streets. And here's this asshole Ramon Saul Sanchez.
He's an asshole.
Trying to hold back the cop on a horse. And here's a bunch of horses, asses, standing there with their little Cuban flags. And you could count, I mean, I realize it's only a little slice of the street that they're showing in this picture, but you can actually count like maybe a dozen people. All of them over the age of 100, by the way, in this picture. Much ado about nothing. That's what this whole thing is. Much ado about nothing. And I'm going to say it again and again and again. The people who run the TV news departments in this town, you're all a bunch of grave-robbing assholes. You're a disgrace. And don't ever try to insult us by telling us that you're doing something for this community. Which one is Channel 4? Oh, working for you, or whatever that stupid slogan is. Yeah, you're working for us, all right. You're working to exploit and squeeze as much as you can out of this town. Every problem, every dispute, every aggravation, you're there to exploit it and manipulate it and squeeze as many dollars out of it as you can. There was no reason whatsoever. You know, I was on the way to the doctor yesterday, and you were right. You said it should have been nothing more than a traffic report. That's what it should have been. They could break in when they usually do on their cut-ins and say, okay, well, stay away from the Port of Miami right now, because and they could have shown their picture and spent 30 seconds, even a minute on it. That's all that was required. And I'm sitting there in amazement with my jaw down to my knee yesterday, thinking, how can they still be hanging on to this thing? There's nobody there anymore. There's nobody there. And they're just whipping the public up into a frenzy, just hoping that they can create some psychotic, bizarre thing down there so they can, well, you saw it exclusively on 7, first on 4, last on 6, whatever the hell it is. You're a cancer on this town. You're a big, fat, oozing disease on this community, sucking the blood out of it. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How you doing?
Okay, sir.
Happy New Year, actually.
Same to you.
Thank you. Actually, I don't know where to start because I'm so embarrassed right now. My parents are Cuban, and they can't believe what's going on, you know. They're more American than anything. They've lived here like civilized people for 40 years, and they're, like I said, they're so embarrassed to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And last night, Channel 10 was supposed to air a program called Cuba in My Heart or something like that. It was a documentary about Cubans coming to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
They canceled it because they thought it might incite a riot. I sent John Garwood an email last night asking him how can he pander to all these silly Cubans when there's just about 200 of them, and they just keep showing them and showing them and showing them. It's the same people that they show last time there was protest.
Right. When they had the thing with the Coast Guard and the pepper spray,
the same people.
There were the same few hundred people down there.
The old ones about to die. Yeah, it's the same 200 people that are about to die anyways. No one cares about.
And a bunch of kids out there exploiting the situation to go out and act like assholes in the street.
The gangsters.
Right.
Which I don't know if you noticed, but those were the guys that they were arresting on the floor fighting with. It wasn't the old people, you know. The cops weren't fighting the old people.
Well,
they were fighting the gangsters.
One good thing, the old people can't fight back too good, so you know.
Yeah, exactly. My brother-in-law called me last night from Tampa and was asking me what Neil had to say about this. I guess I'll call him today.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, Neil.
Tell him to hang on to his life.
Sure.
And have a great day. Hang on tight. Don't squeeze it too hard, though. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. By the way, here's a fax, and I will get into this. You know, I called DirecTV a couple of nights ago when that Panther Anaheim game was. And by the way, somebody better tell David J. Neal at the Herald. Somebody better tell him, since he was out there in Anaheim, that we could not have watched that Panther Anaheim game on the Anaheim telecast from the NHL Center Ice package, because that was also blacked out, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yes, it was. Again, the Herald gets it wrong, as they always do. Yeah, ESPN2 had the game. The Panthers didn't bother televising. Sports Channel, that great game where Victor Kozlov had a hat trick and Pavel Bure and Ray Whitney were brilliant again as usual. Great game. See, the schedule is stinking to begin with, and here maybe the best game of the season, that game in Tampa, the home game against Tampa on Saturday, on New Year's Day. And it's like the Panthers have disappeared from the face of the earth. Oh, no, ESPN has got the rights. In addition to which, when ESPN2 has got the telecast, there are a lot of people that don't have ESPN2 free on their cable, who don't have any satellite dishes. So somebody in the Panther organization better get your act together, okay? Better start getting some brains over there, because if you really want to do some promotion and get some asses in the seats and people in the building and excited and enthused about a team that's going so great and is in first place by about 500 points in their division, you better start showing us the product to the public. Very, very sad. But nevertheless, you live and learn. Here's Miami. Hello.
How you doing, Neil?
Great.
You know, this whole Elián thing is absolutely ridiculous. It's no one's business where this kid ends up except for his family.
Right.
And what is our business is how much tax money got wasted yesterday on extra police.
Can you imagine how many, and of course the city of Miami is almost bankrupt to begin with, but can you imagine how much money had to be expended for the extra police? Everybody was called in off duty to be out there to try to protect the streets in this town for a bunch of crazy people.
I know. And also, with all the issues facing this community, you would think the politicians had more important things to worry about than pandering to one child and a group of about 300 people. And that's what's upsetting to me about the whole thing. You know, we can Go ahead and mobilize for one child, but why can't they mobilize to improve education down here?
Right.
And as a community, let's get our priorities right and worry about the greater good and the matter material.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Neil.
See, but you're forgetting that they don't care about the child. They don't give a flying crap about Elián. He's just a symbol, like the one guy said. He's a symbol of this and a symbol of that. He's just a figurehead. Meaningless. So don't give me a song and dance. They're concerned about him and his freedom and his future. And he can't lose. He cannot possibly lose. If he does go back, which is what the INS says is going to happen, he's going to be treated like royalty. Fidel has already been dining with Daddy. They had dinner together a couple of nights ago. And, of course, that's what really inflames these people, is that now Daddy is a pawn, a puppet of Fidel. Well, you know what? Who cares? How does that affect our lives? But every time Fidel takes a bowel movement and it doesn't have blood in it, these people start getting hysterical. Because that's all they know. See, I know this comes as a great shock to some of those people, but life in America consists of a lot more than that. Life. We're talking about real life. What really, like this guy said, like education, like schools, like being safe in the streets, like life, like living and breathing life, not some kind of hysteria that you want to hang to and brainwash your kids with. That's why some of those kids are out there, by the way. Just like the religious stuff. It is a religion. To hell with Fidel, comunista, comunista, comunista. And of course that's all you hear in your home all your life, and of course that's what you're gonna believe. And you're going to become overwhelmed with it. But there was certainly, especially the way the irresponsible TV channels here yesterday, especially the way they were whipping it up, there was ample opportunity for there to be just grotesque things here last night. Did it happen?
No.
No. Because like the callers are saying here, it's the same few hundred people over and over and over again. And, of course, the real old people, you can understand. They don't have a life. They're retired. They're not working. Who knows what they're doing. They're on Social Security, whatever the hell they're doing. They're running numbers. I don't know. So they don't have anything. It's like a hobby for them. Libertad, libertad. You know. And then you got a lot of unemployed young punks out there who are doing nothing productive with their lives. So why not go out there and act like an asshole in the streets and see if you can't get yourself arrested? Here's Wes Kendall. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Neil, how you doing?
Great.
Take it easy, man. I just want to change the subject. I want to talk about Jimmy and Danny.
Yeah, okay. Good going, pal. And by the way, that's an excellent point. The fact that all this is going on got us away from, oh, gee, I almost wanted to play the second one there for a second.
Jimmy and Danny.
Yes, sir, good point. This at least provides a diversion for us. Although on the sports shows, were they talking about this stuff?
No.
No, nothing deters them from their appointed grounds, believe you me. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Plantation. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
At the beginning of the newscast on Channel 7 last night, they said we're going to check the latest hotspot by the American Airlines arena. And they go to Brian Andrews, and they got just two crazy women there with a bed sheet.
I saw that.
Yeah, they said they were worried about disrupting the Heat game.
And
at the end of the
happened.
newscast, at the end of the newscast, they said, well, now we're going to check back at that hotspot. They go to Brian Andrews, and they pan over, and there's nobody there.
Right.
Just trying to make something out of nothing.
Exactly.
I mean, it was laughable. There was just people coming out of the game, and there was just nobody there.
There was absolutely no incidents. There was no traffic type. There was nobody there. And, of course, you do understand that after the Metro Police did such a great job yesterday and arrested those 50 people, and everybody saw that on their TV sets that people were getting busted, they decided to go elsewhere where they might have a better chance of screwing around on the streets.
Yeah. I wasn't sure if you saw that.
I saw it. It's typical.
Okay.
Thanks.
Take it easy.
Yeah, you're a bunch of axe murderers, man. All you TV people, I'm embarrassed for our community that we have to tolerate you and put up with you, that's the kind of swill. And thank God. There's another reason, by the way, to get you a satellite dish. So you can actually find out what's going on in the real world outside of our local yokel TV channels. And while you're at it, by the way, you might go to your corner newsstand and buy some real newspapers from some other market where you can get a real newspaper from, because you won't ever get one here, will you?
No.
No. Not a chance. Not a Chinaman's chance. Oh, sorry. Here's a mobile in Dania. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Great.
Hey, listen, I just got to make a quick comment about this Elián thing. granted that he came to Miami due to his mother tried to save him, and he came and he made it, and great, But if the media wasn't so far up his ass, as Elián made it here, Elián's first Christmas, Elián's
It's the baby Jesus, it's the baby Jesus.
Yeah.
Right, Elián took his first dump. Who cares?
Right.
We don't want to hear that.
I sure hope it was a good, smooth bowel movement, too, with no hemorrhoids or anything. I hope that it was good consistency and texture and so on.
So if it was
we actually had to see him 50 million times on all these TV stations yesterday, running around playing in the yard, like this was something new and revolutionary, like 6-year-old kids. Although it seems to me that at nighttime, most 6-year-old kids aren't running around in the yard playing; they're probably playing inside the house.
I felt a little jealous. I said, well, I want to do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is that if the media would have kept them, kept to themselves, and if the INS would have just made the decision and, sent them home and not let the media know, then our streets would be the regular, be back to regular. Traffic will be flowing smoothly.
Absolutely correct, sir.
So that's how I feel, and I'm out of material, and I love you, Neil.
And I vote for you for mayor.
Thanks.
Thank you. It's common sense. Of course, we don't have too many people with common sense. And I will say this. I mean, the politicians, even for me to stick up for Mayor Pinga Pequeno would be very unusual, but they're all like on real thin ice on this deal. I mean, they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't. But at least Mayor Pinga Pequeno, one of the rare times, at least he said that while he sympathizes with the plight of these people and understands, their desire to protest, that they will not tolerate, Dade County won't tolerate being in the streets and doing any illegal activity and inconveniencing the citizens, et cetera, and so on, which for him was like almost the first.
I think it was the first time I heard him say it.
Well, he probably looked out the window and saw there weren't that many people there and decided it was probably politically not a very good idea to start. Yeah, exactly. He stuck it out the window with his finger, too. And, of course, I'm sure as he stuck it out the window, Juan Medieta was there holding it, and the Merit Steerheim was checking out its temperature.
Maybe he pulled it.
In fact, Merit Steerheim probably had his thumb up the mayor's while he was sticking his thing out the window. In fact, Juan was pulling the foreskin back. Remember our old good former friend, Juan Medieta? Here's Pompano. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hi, Neil. Just a thought. Local media, when they have a script and a teleprompter, they're bad enough. But when you have to cover a live situation, when you have to ad-lib,
then they show their true colors.
Completely out of law.
They show how stupid they are.
Yeah, they don't have a clue. The other thought is, how about Miami changing its name, and keeping with its status as a banana republic to La República de Miami?
La República de Miami.
I like
that. I like saying La República.
Yeah, that has a nice ring to it. And it's in keeping with what's going on. Just the last thought is, if these people are trying to get us to go over to their point of view, why the hell are they waving Cuban flags? They're saying, let's keep the kid in America. How about waving American flags?
There was only one American flag that I saw that was on Wednesday down at the INS building, surrounded by a sea of Cuban flags.
Yeah.
Which, again, let me say it's a flag of a communist country.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, they don't care what you think. Don't you understand? These people don't care whether they're pissing you off or they just don't care. They're irrational and emotional and hysterical, and nothing you or I say is going to change them.
Yeah. Did you see the shot of the guy slapping the cop's horse?
Yeah.
I mean, out of order.
Yeah, it was out of order, but it was nice to see him in a paddy wagon a few minutes later.
Oh, I didn't see that.
They busted his ass.
Well, that's good news.
And arrested him, too.
Listen, Viva la República de Miami.
All right.
Okay.
Hasta que Yormitas.
Bye-bye.
Here's a big fan in Fort Myers who thanks George for doing an excellent job yesterday, which, by the way, yes, he did. Thank God we had a little spick on here. It wasn't one of those professional spicks. At least yesterday, anyway. It says what is it? Because of him, I went out to Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends. Yeah, How to Win Friends and Influence People. It says, I'm an American Cuban living in Fort Myers, but still not living far enough away from the radical Cubans. It's hard to find a good Cuban restaurant. Well, go on up to, what you call it there? Oh, that's right. It's not Cuban. It's Spanish in Sarasota. What's the name of that place? Columbia.
I don't know.
Columbia Restaurant, where they had that good sangria, man. Of course, the Spanish food, it's mostly horse meat. That's what made Enrique turn out that way. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless lines.
Hi, Papa Juan Pablo.
Yes. I like it when the guys stop by for a Hummer. Do you remember?
Yes.
When you got that Hummer?
Squirt.
Kids on the block really has small Chinese suits have no. I unzipped their flies when the guys stop by for a Hummer. I like guys who start at only 1 inch. It stretches when they make a wish. The big kiss long from my Hummer, Big one, Daddy, stick it in my hand. I gave you a Hummer and it all began. You had the biggest one that I ever did see. It fell to the floor when you tried to pee. When you unzip, I can't help but want it. But it's so big that you just have to flaunt it. You wet my whistle with that big thing, baby. Halfway down my throat, man, it drives me crazy. Now I think about you and it makes me sad. You went away and never came back. I gave you a Hummer and you went back home. Macaulay Culkin was the size of your bone. I felt deep in love when you gave me a beating. Now I'm a little bitch like Alex P. Keaton. When I met you, I knew that you were thick. It really doesn't matter the size of your stick. New kids on the block really had small I need to have no. I unzip the flies when the guys stop by for a Hummer.
It's 10:53 at 560 WQM. Here's a fax from David who says the only person who actually did a good job yesterday was Michael Williams on Channel 6. Nice going, Mike. In spite of what Joe Rose says about you. He continually pointed out that there was only a very small group of protesters. The protesters were clearly playing to the camera.
Yes.
He would not say anything about them reflecting the Cuban community because they were only a small part of it. Your friend Kelly Craig snapped at one of the protest leaders in the studio yesterday about them inconveniencing everybody who had nothing to do with Elián. Nice going there, Kelly, and lose some weight, sweetheart. And Jackie Nesbral, you're right, is in the Rick Sanchez category when it comes to mindless crap. Yeah, Jackie, you're a disgrace, okay? Just keep your trap shut, you stupid bitch. God, are they bad. And you know, it's really interesting. Channel 4 was taking a poll all day yesterday. Should they send Elián back to his daddy? Do you support the INS decision? It was 65-35 at one point, and then after the 2,000 call, it was like 62% said yes, we support the decision, send him back, and only 38% said no, which is pretty overwhelming, lopsided. But Channel 7, on the other hand, I guess all the hysterical Julios must have been calling the Channel 7 number 50 million times.
Uh-huh.
Because they did their survey last night, do you support the protesters? And 52% said yes and 48% said no on Channel 7. So depending on which channel you were watching, Channel 7 was the only one that had the public allegedly supporting the protesters. How could you support it? How could you possibly support people who are doing civil disobedience, going out there blocking off the streets? Screwing with other people's lives. And let me say it again, the people who you were inconveniencing yesterday, the truckers trying to get their stuff to the Port of Miami, for example, and the other people that they showed on TV trying to get their ass back to work in the middle of the afternoon, they have nothing to do with Elián. They don't work for the INS. They don't know from Janet Reno or President Clinton or any of these other people. No. They had nothing to do with that. And in the meantime, you keep pissing them off and inconveniencing them as though that's going to accomplish something. Will it accomplish something? Yeah, it'll piss everybody off even more and create more hatred and agitation. And by doing what you did yesterday, Channel 4, 6, 7, and 10, more and more, you polarize this community and you create an ugly, ugly stereotype. I feel sorry for the decent Cuban people in this community, which is obviously, at least, I don't know, decent or indecent, but at least people that have enough common sense to keep out of this crap, which is the overwhelming majority, who are embarrassed and humiliated and ashamed by the swill that went on yesterday and that was presented on the television screens hour after hour after hour as if this was the Cuban community or the exile community or whatever the hell they're calling it this hour. It was the same few hundred assholes who are out there every time they're given an excuse.
I want my cigarettes, Nurse Ratched.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like crazy people. Cuckoo's nest. And if they don't get their way, Jose, well, they're going to just carry on like a lunatic. They're just going to scream and jump up and shout until, and by the way, his relatives, you know something? I'm more convinced now than ever he ought to go back to daddy. Because watching the behavior of his relatives, especially that one broad, the cousin, she makes me want to barf. Pap, 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 pap. All of a sudden, these are great social experts. You know, they're people with all these brilliant comments on the social scene in America. Obnoxious, disgusting, disgraceful. Just do it the legal way, file your appeal, and do the best you can. And if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. And the best of luck to the kid, because God only knows he'll need it. But even more important than that, the best of luck to us, because we already know we need it, because we live here. Here's Boca. Hello.
Neil Rogers for mayor. Listen,
yes, sir.
The TV,
I'm mayor for mayor.
The TV should be charged with inciting a riot.
Right, I agree.
Right, and if this child was an American child, the mother who took the kid would be in jail for kidnapping.
And by the way, yeah, that's right, absolutely, because it was without the consent of the father,
absolutely.
And he wasn't even aware of it in spite of the stories that they're trying to
put
spread
American
now.
mothers in jail for doing that exact same
Right.
Done.
But wait, slow down. Let's go back to what you said in the beginning, because if we go on the air and we say crap or something like that, the FCC gets all psychotic and they're going to fine us. But the television stations can go on there and incite people to participate in civil disobedience and screw up the whole community, and nobody even slaps them on the goddamn limp wrist.
Yeah. And what did Jeb Bush do? He cuts the tolls.
Yeah.
Where's the National Guard like in the 60s when the anti-war came? They gashed you. They beat you to a pulp. Where's all that?
I think it's time that he cut the crap.
Yeah, absolutely.
And have a great day.
Thank you.
567-0560, pound 560 on the gate. Here's a fax I forgot earlier. It says liberty only for Elián, only for Cubans at war with the rest of Miami and USA. Blame Clinton for everything, even though the GOP Congress made the law sending Elián back, which is correct. It says, meanwhile, let's rename everything for Elián. Elián County, Elián International Airport, Elián Port, Elián Boulevard, Elián Beach, Elián High School, Elián Arena, Elián Causeway, Elián Keys, St. Elián. How do you like that? In fact, I am declaring this as Elián Friday. Oh! And we're going down to the beach right now, welcoming all the illegal aliens who are coming in. Just get that dry foot, baby. The wet foot, dry foot, wet back, whatever that thing is. Are we letting in the wetbacks?
No.
Oh, thank God. But anyway.
Sports Radio 560, WQAM, Fort Lauderdale.
Isn't this great? Yeah, because we got no spots, because it's the beginning of the calendar year, and this is the way it goes. The last week or so of the year and the first week. Don't get too excited, though. It won't last too long. Whether it's Power 96 or QAM or any of these Wanna Beasley stations, don't get too overexcited about the much shorter than usual commercial breaks. It won't last too long, trust me. And isn't it great to see they painted some doors out here? Let's hear it. Yeah. Oh, baby. Come in this morning and they painted some doors out here. As the longest little construction project in the history of the human race continues. A little bit of paint on the walls out there.
Smells good, too.
Which I think is making us all sick. Even the nephew came in this morning holding his lower right, where I had my back. I find out that this has been a bacterial infection that I've had now for 3 weeks and feel a lot better. I've got some good, strong antibiotics, which are knocking it out, and the infection, too. Thanks, Dr. Diamond. You're okay in my book, sweetheart.
Oh, Dr. Diamond, he mentioned you on the air.
Tamarack. Great doctor. You ought to see the clientele. But nevertheless, here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Good morning, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
I thoroughly agree with what you said.
I can barely hear you.
I said I agree with what you said.
Yes.
What went on in this town yesterday was a disgrace. And all of these television stations that was giving free advertisement and pumping up this disgrace, they're just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And, of course, you see, the problem is here that, when you're dealing with a monopoly, when you have network affiliates and you only have one, and when they do everything in their power, even if you have a satellite dish to prevent you from watching other network affiliates from, like, real living and breathing cities, you're stuck with it. If you want to watch a network affiliate, what you got is here.
Of course. And all of these politicians that have to get their mugs on television and speaking out, I hope people remember who they are, and when they run for election, vote against them, because they are a national disgrace. And as far as Mayor Pinellas, he might have been on English-speaking radio and television saying not to demonstrate, not to go in the street, not to do whatever he said, but on Cuban radio, he was on there saying, I'm a Cuban first, and I'm for keeping Elián here.
Yeah.
So he's just a two-faced little
weasel.
Brat.
Backstabbing weasel.
He is. He looks like he needs
Devious
to have
and
his,
dangerous.
He looks like he needs to have his diapers changed.
Yeah.
But this...
well, that's why he keeps the Juan Mendieta and the Merritt Steerheim with him at all times. He never walks alone. He's always got one on each arm to make sure in case he does a little accident in the diapers.
Absolutely. And all of these same people that you see out there, like that skunk lady, the one with the white in her hair, that Iriondo woman.
Iriondo skunk, Ross, yeah.
Yeah,
Dana.
Doesn't she remind you of a skunk with that hairdo?
Yes, and smells like it, too. Okay, listen, have a great day, sweetheart.
You too, bye.
Okay. Oh, my God. Let's see. Here's a guy who works for a wholesale plumbing supply company in Medley. One of our local supply houses at, Southwest 7th Avenue in Flagler is closed because of a large Cuban demonstration. They were scared for themselves and their customers. How do you like that? Yeah, people who are in business had to close up yesterday, some of them because they were terrified for themselves and for their customers. because the City of Miami Police refused to participate in democracy, which means let the goddamn people use the streets for what they were built for, driving on them. That's what we paid our tax dollars to build the goddamn streets, not so people could hold a goddamn party in the middle of the street pretending that they're protesting. And don't tell me that all those punks that were out there were protesting, they were out there having a goddamn party. And you know it as well as I do. Next time we have Los Van wants to come back, or somebody else who was once seen photographed with Castro, or once had a picture of Castro in their bedroom, or whatever the hell it was, or somebody that sleeps on a Castro convertible. Next time they want to come here and perform in this town, and the same radical elements start trying to protest and prevent them from doing it, I think at that point everybody else ought to start riding around the streets yelling, "Libertad, libertad, libertad," because how the hell can you be screaming it when you don't know what it means, when you have no respect for it? You assholes who were out there yesterday, and let me say it again, this is the most important part of this whole thing, this whole exercise. Don't be giving me a goddamn instruction on liberty when you don't know the goddamn meaning of it, when you have no respect for other people's opinions. You're a effing communist! You're an effing communist! Everybody who doesn't agree, just keep this in mind, you're an effing communist, okay? You got that now?
Uh-huh.
Good. Now we can move on. Here's Homestead. Hello.
Yes, sir. You keep talking about the communist. In my personal opinion, this is a communistic, terroristic act by holding us all hostage.
It is a kind of terrorism. I agree with that.
Yeah, by holding us hostage to support their cause. If I don't care to support their cause, why should they hold me hostage to support them? And another thing, if the majority of the Cubans do deplore this act, as the polls have shown, then I agree with the other lady. We should remember this at election time and get these people out of office. They are working for us, and they're not to support civil disobedience.
Right. Amen.
And all these people are doing is dividing our city rather than uniting our city.
Including the media. Don't forget channels 4, 6, 7, and 10. Keep them at the forefront in your mind, because if they wouldn't have played this thing up all day yesterday, it would have been much ado about nothing.
Absolutely, sir. I couldn't agree with you more.
And have a great day.
Thank you, sir.
567. Don't forget, we'll be at Nick's tomorrow, noon to 2, Nick's Cigars, 7111 West Flagler Street, just a mile east off the Flagler Street exit of the Palmetto. Cigar rolling demonstrations, Anheuser-Busch's new products, tequila and rumba, food, entertainment, the Bacardi Girls, rum samples. Right. And a partridge in a pear tree. And the best news of all is I'm watching, let's see, there's Channel 7. They go
directly in front of
the same usual crap on there, a Jerry Springer-like show, whichever one it is. Oh, no. Oh, that's right. They're in the news now. I'm sorry. Channel 6.
No, please, don't send for Cuba, please. Pídaselo al presidente aquí.
It's now 1 week till that INS deadline, and family members are...
Yeah, get out of here. Oh, by the way, the Dow's up 189 points.
Oh!
Look at that, the brand new and improved Tommy. Look at him.
I had to do a triple take when I came in.
He looks good like that. He looks human. How do you like that? Our very own Tommy just came in looking like a human being for the first time since I've been working here. Got rid of that stupid yellow ponytail. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's Deerfield Beach. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people call in complaining that these protesters are all waving Cuban flags, not American flags. Well, I'm glad they're not waving the American flag because there's no representation of America.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And there's radical as the government they're supporting, so let them wave that Cuban flag and not an American flag.
Absolutely correct, sir.
Thank you, Neil.
And God bless you. And I'll pray for us, sir. I'm getting on my knees right now to pray for us. By the way, speaking of that, here's the new Rolling Stone. Thank you very much, my good close friend Bob Bishoprick. Can I say that on the air, Bishoprick?
No.
No, Bob B., who sends me the Rolling Stone, the one with the Backstreet Boys on the cover. Boys on top. George is very upset about this, though. It wasn't bad enough that it's got the Backstreet Boys with their pants down to their ankles. Well, they are wearing suits, okay? They are wearing suits. Although, I'll be honest, Brian has got his tie. It looks like a tie. His necktie that's hanging down there between his legs. I think that's a tie, isn't it, Brian?
Uh-huh.
Either that or the strangest looking I've ever seen. But nevertheless, readers poll Artist of the Year according to Rolling Stone. Not some Teen Beat or some stupid Teeny Bob magazine, but according to Rolling Stone. 1999, Rolling Stone readers poll Artist of the Year, Band of the Year, Album of the Year, Single of the Year, Best Video, Best Dressed, Best Hung, Backstreet Boys.
Oh!
Huh. God, somebody told me a year and a half ago that they were dead meat. Be gone before you know it. like the new yids on the block. Don't even, what's the point, okay? I mean, I realize they're not some great lasting group that'll be remembered also like Limp Dick Biscuit like that, but nevertheless. And I heard that crap music you played yesterday. And I thought, Jesus, he was doing such a great job up until now. What the hell was that?
Methods of Mayhem.
It was mayhem, all right. Oh. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Nobody's perfect. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I listened to you from Washington, D.C. I flew in last night, and I'll just go let you know that it's an embarrassment to society to see these people, getting me gridlocked in traffic. And apart from that, going back to the comment that a gentleman made earlier, if, this is the same country where mothers get lose custody of their children for slapping them in the behind.
Right.
This woman puts this kid in danger and brings him over here, and then these Cubans, I'm Cuban-American, don't get me wrong, but I think it's an embarrassment coming from Washington, D.C., where I haven't heard anything about this case other than, a 30-second clip. Media here is just awful. I mean, I want to go back, anywhere other than Miami.
I don't blame you.
Embarrassment.
That's my philosophy.
Horrible. And that's pretty much it, the comment. I listened to you from Washington, D.C., and actually I wish that you wouldn't take any more callers. Unfortunately, I'm calling, but I love the whole month period where you didn't have any callers.
Me too. Okay, pal.
Thanks a lot.
Don't do it again. Okay. Oops. No, there's a really good article. Where the hell is it? Where the hell? Oh, of course, not trying to find the editorial page in the Herald. Why can't they just do it like a real newspaper? I mean, I know that they're not, but I'll never find it. God damn it! Where is it? One moment, please. Ah, crap. Oh, I gotta find this article. All right, it's in the op-ed page. Here it is. By Jo Becker. She's director of the Children's Rights Advocacy for Human Rights Watch in New York City. And she writes about the other immigrant children. She says, at the end, Elián González faces an uncertain future, but while his fate is being determined, he's able to stay in a caring home, communicate in his own language, and explore his environment. For many other children, unnoticed and almost forgotten, daily life is much bleaker. She says, since he arrived here, he's been showered with attention, toys, trips to Disney World, Universal Studios. But for thousands of other children who, like Elián, arrive in the U.S. without their parents, the reception they receive is anything but warm. In Portland, Oregon last year, 6 Chinese children were held for 8 months in a juvenile detention center along with violent youthful offenders. One of the group, a 15-year-old girl, was held for several weeks after being granted asylum, even though she had an uncle in New York ready to care for her. She told a reporter, "I never thought I'd end up in jail like this." How do you like that? And she talks about the thousands of kids who arrive here without parents every year, and nobody's marching in the streets for them, and nobody's taking them to Disney World, et cetera, and so on.
Libertad, libertad, libertad. Leave it with onions and bacon.
9 minutes after 11 at 560 WQAM.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Fires one down the middle. It's complete. It's a touchdown.
And Sunday, it's the Dolphins and the Seattle Seahawks. Live from the Kingdome.
Bill Zimmer and Jim Mandich call all the action.
Countdown to kickoff begins at noon.
The game starts at 4:05.
All right, Miami.
Here on your Dolphin station. Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Get the Hoover out the moon, man.
Another football playing movie. Plays for the Cleveland Browns. Yes. He got a flag in his eye and he lost his mind and threw the referee on the ground. Yeah. Will they get him out of the game? And pending further review, you say all is well or it'll go to hell. It's all up to tackling up, boo boo boo. Now he'd be playing Orlando Brown, throwing the referee on the ground, being an NFL jock. You never hear the jail cell lock. Check it out, baby. Every sports franchise never met a criminal they didn't like. Now if you can catch the ball or run with the ball, then rape and murder, that'd be alright. As long as they can the bleachers and sell out Sunday's game. Well, who cares? Who gets money long as they're making money? If the lemons like you do the wave. Oh! He'd be banging Orlando Brown, throwing the referee on the ground. Boy! Being an NFL job means you never hear the jail cell lock. Being an NFL job Beach. You never hear the jail cell lock.
And don't forget, when it comes to that Cecil thing, he was, he's just looking. Right, he just wanted to take a look. I wanted to drive off the road when I heard the Humper say that the other day on Wednesday, and maybe that's what inspired me to get a little bit sicker. Just absolutely unbelievable. Rationalizing, condoning, washing away. Oh, well, that's all over. No, it's not all over. Maybe in about 15 years it might be over if we're lucky. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Neil. This is Louis. I'm a police officer for Metro-Dade. Thank you for the kind word to...
Congratulations, sir. You guys did a great job.
I admire you, Neil, because the fact that you speak the truth all the time, that's what makes you different from all the other news people. May I say something with all due respect to you? The only thing that I did not agree is when you used the word spics, and then you use blacks. I know you walk the walk and you talk the talk.
Well, just remember, spicks and spones may break my bones, but...
I know, I know, but I mean, it's not a reflection upon the Cuban community. I've been here 41 years. About 22 of those in the police department, and I'm a Vietnam veteran. To make it shorter to the point, because I know you're busy, you spoke the truth. It is ridiculous, it's stupid, but you know what it is? Our laws, the police department, actually should not allow that to happen. If you want to demonstrate, to do it on the sidewalk, like you said,
right? Not
in the middle of the street, and we condone it. We allow it to happen. And it's like a baby with a tantrum, like you said. There's a lot of kids starving right here in the United States, and a lot of more important things that we got to worry about. You know how much money we spend in the police force that we had to actually bring out extra police officers, and all the fuel burning on for the helicopters and everything else. Right. That's really stupid. I just wanted to give you my opinion. It's just that I believe that it's not everyone. It's just a whole bunch of stupid kids.
Just a few hundred people. That's all it was.
A few hundred people. But I appreciate the kind words you had for the Metro-Dade Police Department, and God bless you.
Okay, keep it up.
Bye-bye.
Look at that. The Nasdaq's up 73. The Dow's up 150.
Oh!
There you go. Mucho dinero for everybody. Let's hand out $100 bills on the street corners. What do you say?
Uh-huh.
That's what the Wanna Beasleys are going to be doing, aren't they?
No.
Here's Claire in Daytona Beach who says, I'm so disheartened by the actions of the militant Cubans, Ray Elián. And by the way, his name is not Elián. There's something about some of you goyim on the media here. It's not bad enough you performed miserably yesterday. But his name is not Elián. There is no I at the beginning of that. There is no way you could pronounce it in Espanol or any other language. His name is not Elián. That's like people from the Midwest who pronounce M-I-L-K, milk, okay? There is no E in the word milk. No, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Milk.
I've heard it.
There is that, And, of course, they were milking it for all they could get out of it yesterday, believe me, weren't they?
Uh-huh.
It says, I thought the Cubans were intelligent and had understood the value and concept of freedom, democracy, and capitalism. There is no way that island will ever be free, Castro or not, until they do grasp these issues. Another blow for world democracy, says Claire in Daytona Beach. Well, Claire, don't feel quite so bad, because like we just said, there were a few hundred people. A few hundred. And the same few hundred, I'm sure. They're professional agitators. They're like the Jesse Jacksons of South Florida. Every time there's a cause celeb, you can count on them to be out there doing their thing. Yeah, on command. And all you little punks out there, by the way, go crack a goddamn book or something. Or go get laid or do something constructive and stop wasting your time out there in the streets acting like a bunch of jerk-offs, okay? You idiots, you little punks. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing today?
Great.
Police officer in the city of Hialeah, just to give you a little info, they've told us yesterday, which I was working in today, if the Palmetto gets blocked, do not go in it. Do not assist unless FHP, Florida Highway Patrol, calls for emergency backup. Do not assist them. And as for protesters, do not arrest them. Even if they block traffic, reroute traffic, do not arrest them at all. That is the mentality of our government.
Really?
So just to give you that, do not arrest them unless you're totally provoked and have no choice. And if that happens, you notify the shift commander.
Well, how come there was so little going on last night in Hialeah?
Well, most of the protesters were in the city of Miami.
Yeah.
But
that's right. Last night was cockfight night in Hialeah. I forgot that. That's
probably.
Right.
But most of them are in city of Miami today. They expect it to get worse. They're calling people in on overtime. But the bottom line is, do not arrest them. That's the city of Hialeah mentality, and probably a lot of other small places.
They expect it to get worse today?
They expect it to get a lot worse today because it's Friday. People don't have anything to do. Last night, people had to work this morning.
And what about over the weekend?
Not really, because these people that want to block traffic, they know that people don't work on weekends.
Ah,
so.
good point. That's right. So they can't inconvenience so many people on the weekend.
That is the whole point, inconvenience people and, get people pissed off. But today's going to be probably the worst day, except maybe next Friday if they do send them back. So
okay.
Just to let you know, Neil.
Thanks, amigo.
Take care, my friend. Bye-bye.
11:19 at 560 WQM, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I got two opinions for you. On the one hand, I really don't want to be stuck in traffic having to pay the price for that Libertad or Libertadler. But on the other hand, when I compare that, yesterday's demonstrations to some of that other homegrown variety, such as what we saw at the World Trade Conference on the other coast, which, by the way, included pacifists and all these homegrown people. And
right.
In comparison,
yeah.
I do have to applaud the Cubans for their civility. In comparison. I mean, there was millions of dollars in damage over.
Right. That's right. That's a good point. But the fact is, it doesn't make it any more palatable to the people who were trying to get from point A to point B yesterday and use the roads for the purpose they were designed to drive on.
I agree.
So just to point out that there are people who are more militant and more obnoxious and less respectful for property and the law doesn't make condone what happened here yesterday.
Okay, I totally agree with that. I'm in that boat.
Okay.
Have a good day, Neil.
Don't get out of the boat if you're smart.
I sure will.
It's got a leak in it. Oh my God! It's the Titanic. Look at that. There's Leo over there. Oh, you don't have to worry about him. He floats. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Oh, sure. We can think back to the riots in Liberty City. We've had far worse things happen yesterday, which is another reason, by the way, to keep focusing on the TV people. And thank the Lord, thank goodness, somebody must have gotten to them today. Either that or there's not a goddamn thing going on, one or the other. Channel 6 is doing their usual mediocre 11 to noon news.
East-southeast at 10 to 15 knots.
Yeah. Channel 7 has still got Latifah on there. Latifah going with one of those 87,000 Jerry Springer-like shows. And here we go, Channel 4. Now we're talking.
Today on The Price is Right.
Like I said. Yeah, so life is worth living. We got regular shows on there now, okay? God damn it. And for a small fee, I'll be glad to tell you what happened on Guiding Light yesterday, yeah. Oh, yeah. Wouldn't want to miss that. Thank God for 85 satellite dishes. That's all I can say. Here's Wes Kendall. Hello.
Yeah, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Long-time listener, second-time caller.
All right.
I got a solution for the Elián problem.
See.
Keep Elián and all the Cubans that are blocking the street and Rick Sanchez back to Cuba.
And Rosanna Dana.
That's it.
Okay.
Take care.
You got it.
Bye.
Here we go. We'll make a little trade-out, okay? All the crazy people out there in the streets go... Oh, and then I have to laugh. Did you see the guy with the freaky hat, the one that was doing his hunger strike, and he had the handcuffs on?
No.
You didn't see him?
No.
He had a straw hat. He looked like some kind of a scumbag from the bottom of a ship somewhere, a barnacle less 10. And he's hocking at China about, well, if Elián goes back, he's going back too. Hey, well, Pacquiao medianoche, pal, okay?
He won't eat it.
You want to bet? That's right, he's on hunger strike. Well, for a few hours. He was doing a hunger strike like I do the Atkins. A few hours at a time. Yeah, that's right. That's what I was thinking as I watched it. Oh, he's on a hunger strike for a couple of hours till lunch gets here. Who are you kidding, pal? Okay, and by the way, they have these amazing things called bathtubs and showers. Wow, you'd be shocked at what that could do for you. Here's Hialeah. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Time. Long time listener, first time call.
All right.
Listen, I've been down here for 9 years.
I'm so
married
sorry.
to a wonderful Cuban woman. Her family has been down here for 35 years. And they are absolutely disgusted by this.
Yes.
They don't agree with the kid being here. The kid's father's in Cuba.
Right.
Let the kid go back to his father. No matter what the situation is there. The kid did not know how poor off or how bad off he was until these idiots decided, let's 24/7 him on the TV, and let's take him to Disney and show him all the excesses, which is what they call it over there, the excesses that we have here. I mean, let's show him how wonderful America is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's send him back.
What is Disney World? What does taking him to Disney World have to do with America? I don't understand that.
But this is.
Why don't they take him to Columbine High and show him where all the gunshots were on the walls?
Right. Show him, I mean, they're going to show him everything that's perfect in the United States.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're going to call
Well, thank God we don't propagandize like that damn commie bastard Fidel, you know. Thank God we don't propagandize and try to brainwash. Thank goodness for that. Have a great day, pal.
Thank you.
Here's a fax, which I think, I'm not going to read it because it looks like a phony writing to me. Chronic. Although it does say Jew bastard at the bottom in Un Gran Maricon. Thank you. Oh, here's Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Hey, how are you?
Great.
All right. Great show. You demand.
I demand.
All right.
I
went home
demand.
last night on Lejeune. I got stopped by traffic on 8th Street, and I had a guy next to me waving a Cuban flag, had his kids in the car. Okay, so I guess that's the mentality of what's going on. Let's bring the kids. Let's get arrested. Let's show them what we do for them.
And by the way, if they're so worried about this 6-year-old boy, Elián, how come they're not worried about their own little kids, like I said before, that they're sitting in the middle of the streets, blocking the street with their little kids, 4 and 5 and 6-year-old kids sitting on the street with them, on a street where there's traffic?
Absolutely. So then I asked the guy, I said, listen, why are you here? I'm Cuban. Well, what's your point? Why are you here? He didn't know, and the kids didn't know.
Yeah.
So bring them out, get them arrested too. It's unbelievable. Now, if they're so worried about what's going on and what's going to happen to Elián in Cuba, they all need to go back over there, fight for their country, get it free, so we don't have to wipe their butt again.
Well, at least they can keep them safe over there. They can make sure nothing bad happens.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You demand, Neil.
11:25 at 560 WQAM, 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's some fat bitch on Channel 7. Got her problems there.
Like what you're doing, but I love you.
Yeah, some fat, disgusting trailer park trash with some light-complected farts are on there with another one of these 85,000 Jerry Springer lookalike shows. And you wonder why the mind of the American housewife, why it's turned to jello? Yeah, why the smartest thing that they have to say is... That should tell you a lot. Between Oprah and this crap, I mean, what does that leave? Not too much. 26 after 11 at 560 WQAM.
Defoe's Sony Sports Showdown.
Are you up to the challenge?
No. Saturday mornings at 8, only on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
It's Friday, you bastard.
They say that man, he despises me.
Boy!
There's even talk about him hating me. I admit that's something I don't want to hear. But that's just talk until you prove it, dear.
Oh, if it's true, believe me, I just can't blame him. I'm taking a lot of fans away from him. Forget about old rumors about which way he really goes. I need to find out if this place is rumors. So I need to know.
No.
Cause Ricky Martin really thinks my music blows. I need to know. I need to know. Cause Ricky Martin really thinks my music blows.
And by the way, Mark Anthony?
He can't sing for shit.
Exactly. And Ricky Martin?
He can't sing for shit.
Exactly. And Mayor Pena, whatever his name is?
He can't sing for shit.
Him too. 28 past 11 at 560 WQM. I just want to play that.
He can't sing for shit.
All day. I just love that. Just like the way she says it. Like she means it. Here's the mobile in Fort Myers. Hello.
Afternoon, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Over here on the other coast, we don't get quite inundated with it as much as you do, I guess.
Oh, you're missing all the fun, man.
I would give kudos to ABC News yesterday. I was watching it, and the very last clip, I'd like to give a all right to whoever drove a red sports utility truck, and it showed them just running right through all those idiots standing in the middle of the street.
Well, they had somewhere to go, you know. They were on the road, and they figured they got to get somewhere, and if you're not going to get out of the way, too bad.
I thought it was great. It was helicopter footage, and the guy they were just standing there, and he just gunned it, and he took a couple of them on the hood for a little ride.
All right.
I hope they enjoyed it.
Okay.
I'd like to send that guy some roses.
Okay, pal.
Have a good one.
See ya. See those yahoos over there in Fort Myers? They like that. In fact, we might get some of those people might come over here next time, you know what? Some of those truck drivers from those pickup truck driving guys from Fort Myers with bad brakes. 1-800, what is it? 1-877-785-6345 on the out-of-town line. 877-785-6345. Like I said, may not be a very desirable thing, and we're pretty embarrassed that it's happening here for the 8 millionth time in our town, but it sure is better than...
Jimmy and Danny.
Yeah, that's right. So thank you very much, by the way, for giving us a little relief from all of that. Danny and Jimmy. Thank you. God bless you. Just don't do it again. Here's Boca. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
It's your buddy from the hockey games.
Which one is that?
Your buddy Mitch.
567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a mobile, Coral Springs. What does it say? A Coral in Springs.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Okay, I got a couple of statements. One is about those channels that are doing this news about Elián.
You mean 4, 6, 7, 10, 23, 51? You mean those?
Right.
Uh-huh.
I just got one statement to make. Sporting events. When people go to these sporting events and they run onto the field, they are not permitted to show them.
Right.
They're afraid that it might influence people
Uh-huh.
to go ahead and do it. So why is it that these channels are showing this just to influence other people?
The height of irresponsibility, if there's anybody who thinks that our local TV people have the slightest degree of responsibility, they're dreaming. They're in la-la land.
And one other point is, if Elián is thinking that Miami is so great, tell him to visit the Miami Dolphins team. Let them see their lifestyles.
He'll be out on the first plane.
All right, thanks.
Have a great day, pal. Or maybe Cecil could give him a little guided tour, huh? Yeah. He's only 6 years old, but maybe Cecil will show him where all the openings are in town, huh? He'll open some doors or some windows for him, as the case may be. He just was looking. He just wanted to take a little look. That's what somebody said on the station the other day. He maybe have a relapse and have to go to the doctor yesterday.
Oh, that was funny.
Jesus Christ, Hank. Come on. There's this word, if you look up under CR in the dictionary, C-R-E-D, like under credibility, there's that word in there. Take a look at it and see what the definition is. I think one of the things that listed under there under credibility is not sticking up for scumbags. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil. How you doing?
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Listen, my problem with the whole situation was actually one of my problems.
Yes?
The TV stations yesterday. I just get the feeling that they don't want to cover the news. They want to make the
Right.
news.
That's
you know what I'm
always
saying?
been the way. That's correct.
And it bothers me that they stand out there waiting for something to happen, waiting for something to happen.
See, that's another good thing. Is a good point you make is that they don't want to miss out in case some grotesque, barbaric thing happens there.
Right. They got to be the
brawl breaks
first
out. In case
one.
there's a shooting or something,
Exactly.
they don't want to miss it.
Exactly. I mean, it was kind of similar with the whole millennium thing. You know, they wanted things to kind of go berserk so that they could have something to cover. I mean, I understand them covering it, but to the extent to which they did it was kind of wild. And it was exactly the same thing yesterday. And I'm just too disappointed. So thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the memories.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks for making your call.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Line 9 is open, as always. Well, listen, we got those Fort Myers people over there just getting ready. They're making plans. 877-785-6345. 877. By the way, the Panthers ever going to play again?
No.
Okay, I just asked. They lost 4-2, by the way, on the West Coast to L.A. last night, unfortunately. Can't win them all. Lost to a girls' team, the Kings. Did I see that game? Did I stay up to watch that?
No.
No. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
Let you know that I support the Cubans protesting, and I was there protesting, and I want that kid to stay here in Miami.
There's no fags in the church.
Oh, is that who that is?
That's true. That's me.
Oh, this is that.
There's no
Yeah,
fags in
get
the
out
church.
of here. Go blow your horn or your boyfriend or something like that. Get out of here. Get out of my puss. This guy, seriously, he needs help. He needs, he's another one of those guys that walks around going in the streets. Got to see the schmutz on that envelope he sent us, whatever the hell it was, some kind of man. You turd. Exactly. I think that's what it was. I think it was a sample, a specimen. Here's a mobile in Hollywood. Hello.
Good morning.
Good evening.
First of all, I want you to know that I'm Anglo. I'm not Cuban.
Yes.
Okay. Secondly, Neil, I can understand how a lot of these people think, and I understand you got a radio station, and it's easy to be on your side in this case down here. But I got to tell you, you're very successful. I've been listening to you for years.
Yes.
I can imagine if one day, the president of this country picked you up, threw you out, left your mother here, and maybe your brothers or your sisters, and took every asset you've ever worked for your whole life and sent you to a country you couldn't speak the language.
Yeah.
You would be a little upset.
Wait a minute. I didn't realize Elián worked. What kind of job did he do in Cuba?
Well, all right.
What assets did he have?
But my point is this: I can understand how a lot of these people feel this way, and the fact is that
First of all, sir, none of the people that you're talking about got kicked out of anywhere. They all came here willingly. Nobody got kicked out of Cuba. They all came here willingly.
Well,
they all fled.
All right, let me ask you a
with
question.
their tail between their legs.
You're saying that, and the United States won't let them go back to try to take back their country. You understand that they restricted them to do this.
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, let me ask you this: Do you think that individual citizens ought to conduct foreign policy? Is that the way the governments of the world operate?
Well, let me say this to you. I found out that when you protest in this country and you don't create chaos, nobody listens. The politicians could care less. And as for the
in other words, what you're saying with that sock over your phone or whatever you're doing, it sounds like you got a tin can over your phone. Whatever it is you're trying to say is that you believe that people ought to go out and block traffic.
Well, the Boston Tea Party, I'm sure they.
Yeah, well, go. The Boston Tea Party. That's what you're talking about, pal.
Squirt.
The Boston Tea Party. This is Jimmy Carter Jr. Probably once peed on the back of a building, on the back of the John Hancock Tower. Maybe he was down there at Faneuil Hall peeing in the goddamn back. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. God almighty. Like you said about these callers. Here's Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. My dad, he's full-blooded American. My mom is a full-blooded Cuban.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, great. He said he all day yesterday had to hear this Schmidt on TV. See, his family, I guess, takes a lot of blood tests. They're full-blooded this and full-blooded that. See, you people don't listen to what I'm telling you because you've been brainwashed into believing that it makes a difference. Nobody gives a crap. Nobody with a brain cares. A lot of stupid people care. That's the problem. Oh, yeah, I'm 18th generation Irish American. I'm 48th generation. Who gives a flying crap, okay? That and $14 will buy a goddamn salami sandwich at the Macarena, and maybe a soda. Give me a frickin' break. I'm this, I'm that, I'm a Cuban man, I'm a Jew, yeah. Great. We'll pack you some halava. We'll pack you some fudge. Here's Hialeah. Hello. No, look at that. He brought the tone back.
Perfect.
Maricon brought the tone back to 7. That was beautiful.
Oh, God.
That was lovely. Let's see if he's still on there. What is it? Hello? Hold on. Hey, he's still on there. He's holding it. Okay, that's the tone man. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Hey, listen, talk about the pot calling the cuddle up. Exactly. Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello. Mobile in West Palm with their radio turned up or something. Hello. Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes, sir. Turn that radio off, sir. Turn the radio off and speak to me on that little thing called the phone.
All right, how you doing, Neil?
Great.
Okay, let me say something, Neil. I'm Cuban, and I don't agree with people being in the street or blocking the traffic.
But
let me tell you the point that most people are missing here. This kid was found at sea by a fisherman. He probably would have died. He saw his mother die, his stepfather, and other people on the boat. Now, the whole world watched this. Fidel, who is the one who's to be blamed, who is the one with human rights, and
Sir, I'm not going to debate with you. You can, like I said at the beginning of the show. Can I finish my sentence? I guess not.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, and I will finish it without you on the line. You can make a great case for him staying here, and you can make a very emotional case, and that's fine. You can debate that all you want. But the fact is, it has nothing to do with our lives. It has nothing to do with the price of rice, and the INS made the decision whether you like it or you don't like it, and it has nothing to do with people going out in the goddamn streets. That's what we're talking about, is people continuing to disrupt this community and not giving a damn about anybody else so long as they want to get their way. And the fact is, there are times when they're not going to get their way. I hate to break the news to you, okay, but there are going to be times when you're not going to get your way, because that's the way it is. That has to do with liberty. It has to do with other people's liberty, including driving on the goddamn highways, which they pay tax money to build and maintain. So don't be hocking a Chinik about liberty when you don't give a crap and don't respect other people's liberty. The most hypocritical pile of horse manure, of bullshit I have ever seen in my life was that libertad, libertad. And I'll guarantee you, if you were to check the videotapes, you'd find that a lot of these same assholes that were out there yesterday were the same ones protesting at the Night Center, wherever the hell it was, when those Bam Bam was there. Bam Bam and Pebbles were trying to do their goddamn concert. And every other time we have one of these deals where somebody who wants, drew a map of the country of Cuba with a crayon. That's right. Same old tired hysteria. And I got news for you. I'm not speaking for myself. I know I'm speaking for the majority of sane people in this town. We're sick and tired of it. Long before there was any Elián controversy, we were already sick and tired of it, real sick and tired, like after all the crap on the MacArthur Causeway, when people could have died because ambulances and emergency vehicles couldn't get through because a bunch of assholes were sitting there like children banging their spoons on the table. I want my cigarettes, Nurse Ratched. And when you jeopardize other people's safety and lives at that point, somebody rational has to step in, like Metro-Dade did yesterday, and let me commend them again. Nice job. Unlike the city of Miami last night, who decided for whatever reason that Flagler Street was a playground and not a goddamn street where automobiles and trucks were supposed to be. 20 till 12 at 560 WQAM.
Sports Radio 560 QAM.
Only in the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
Hello, I'm Charlton Heston, here to remind you that the Founding Fathers would have owned semi-automatic weapons if they existed back then. While some right-wing fanatics want to take away your God-given right to buy these family-friendly weapons at your neighborhood gun show, you now have nothing to worry about. Because my friends at the NRA are proud to introduce Gun Show to Go. It's the easy way to run a gun show anywhere. At the office, the beach, even in church. We provide you with a small cachet of unregistered guns, phony IDs, ammunition up the butt. Everything you need to arm a small emerging nation or militia. And the most important thing, we even include a copy of the U.S. Constitution. Now you can hold your own gun show for family and friends without any pesky waiting periods or background checks. Has there ever been an easier, more efficient way to exercise your constitutional rights? Remember the name, Gun Show to Go. Ask for it by name at any fine store anywhere. And don't forget, guns don't kill people, people kill people. And Soylent Green is people.
Hey, Chuck, we don't need that last tag there.
Oh, but you don't understand. Soylent Green is people.
It's 11:44 at 560 WQAM. We got Hank at 2. We got the Jimmy We Could Be Got a Shot Special Johnson show at 5 with Hank. We got Boo Shabby at 6, and then we got Orlando El-Zagiri for Ed Kaplan 10 o'clock tonight. Here's Bill from Homestead faxing us. It says Hank Tester from Channel 6 just reported the protesters will drive to Miami International Airport and block the arrivals and departure lanes on Monday. How do you like that? You think they're going to let them do that?
No.
Because that's not in the city of Miami. That's Metro. And you think that they're going to let them do that?
No.
No, you bet your sweet ass they're not. They'll be hauling them off by the wagon load. See, this is the kind of crap, and people condoning this stuff. What is that going to accomplish? Is that going to change anything?
No.
Is that going to change the Clinton administration policy?
No.
No. Is that going to change the law?
No.
Just going to piss off a lot of people and inconvenience a lot of people and continue. And, of course, you know, the media, if this does happen, will be there covering it with a goddamn blanket. They'll be all over it like Stink on Schmidt. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello? Mobile in Miami. Okay, have a nice life. Here's another mobile in Miami. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
How you doing there? Yeah, I just feel very bad because I hear everybody saying that they had a bad time because of the traffic. Well, I had a very good time because it was in front of my house. And I bought my beer, you know, I made a night out of it.
Okay, good. Glad to hear it. Probably got laid with himself. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's North Miami. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, hi. You know, the Havana and 58 and Miami-Dade County today are like one and the same.
No, they're not.
Equally corrupt and equally fascist.
No, they didn't have as much graft as we have.
You know, the young Cuban Americans today aren't told about, you know, what it was like in 58 with the police brutality under Batista and the corruption and the mafia.
Well, you know, on Wednesday I asked the one guy, I said, did they have democracy before Castro? And he said, yes. And I said, you better go back to history class and learn something, read a book.
Yeah, you know, they had corruption and mafia-controlled casinos and the rampant prostitution beggars in the streets. You know.
Yeah.
And the old Cubans are paid to go and protest at these rallies. They also get paid, you know, to obtain about $50 million in Medicare prescriptions that get sent.
Okay, great, thanks. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless freaking line. Oh, God. day after day, month after month. And then, of course, we got those brilliant people who talk about Miami being a world-class city.
Yeah.
And you wonder why I laugh every time I hear that world-class city?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe 10th world-class city. Here's Mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Great.
I'm a small business owner, first time, long time, and I called the governor's office explaining what was going on down here. I got some sort of an orderly that was involved with the situation. They said the governor is taking care of
Oh, he's got his
everything.
thumb on it. Yeah, he's got the tool.
Oh, yeah.
lifted. Yeah.
I told him that I was really tired of, I had to close my business yesterday and today, and that's less revenue for the state, and I'm tired of having local politics dictated by a third world communist banana republic.
Yeah.
And they essentially said, well, that's nice, thank you, bye, and hung up. And that the local authorities will be taking care of things. And I said, well, there's the local talk radio has shown that the local authorities have been given orders not to do anything about it. And they had no comment on it. So
Well, that isn't true, though. Why would you say that? Metro has done a real good job.
Metro's done a great job.
Yeah, so why
but
would you
as
say
far
that?
as the officer that called from Hialeah and
Yeah.
all with the orders and such that
Mhm.
had said that, and
Well, I mean, that's one guy saying that. First of all, we don't know if it's an officer. Secondly, we don't know if that was true, if he just made it up. And they didn't have any problem in Hialeah. They had 10 guys standing on a curb last night.
that's true.
Okay, and have a great day. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line, a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
Neil,
Yes, sir.
you kind of glazed over it just a second ago what I was calling about. They keep calling themselves the Cuban exile community. They were never exiled. They're refugees.
Uh-huh.
They left of their own fruition.
Refugees. Get it right, sir. Refugees.
You know, they left of their own fruition for whatever reason. You know, many people leave their own country, but they're refugees. But to them, it's like a stigma that they don't want to be called that.
Yeah. Well, if the media would stop using that expression, then they wouldn't be called that. How many years do you have to be somewhere before you stop? Even if they were exiled, how many years later do you stop being in exile? You know what I'm saying, sir? And have a great day. I guess I kind of left him puzzled there. He was kind of saying,
Yeah.
yeah, how many centuries do you have to be somewhere before you stop being in exile? Just like those poor Jews that were exiled from Egypt, even though they were never there in the first place. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Morning, Neil.
Yes, sir.
This would be a short one if you'll pardon the expression.
Okay, I can relate to it.
Yes, I'm not impressed with what they're doing now, just annoyed. But what would impress me would be a mass suicide of about...
Okay, great. 5670560, and this guy says he'll be first, okay? Russian roulette, no empty chambers. Out-of-town line is open, 877-785-6345, 877-785-6345. Here's a mobile in Davie. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Good. Listen, I listened to George's show yesterday. I tried to call a couple times. He was pretty swamped with calls. I've called you a
He
couple
gets all
times.
the intellectual calls. Although, you know something? When I was driving to the doctor and then coming back, he did a real good job, but I didn't hear any of those intellectual callers that Andy Moss says that George always gets. They sounded like the same callers I get.
Well, I've listened to you probably for 10 years since down here, and
Right.
I call you rarely, only when I take exception to, not to your conversations, because I listen to you good, bad, or otherwise.
That always makes sense, right?
But what happens in the town, and I want to get up on a soapbox.
Go right
I
ahead.
all right. And George and I have spoken in the past, and we don't agree on this Cuban thing at all. First of all, you hit something right on the head. 3 generations of Cubans ago were exiles. These guys
40
that
years
live in
ago.
Miami, they are as American as I am. I was born and raised native Miamian, and so are these people. So, you know what, guys? Give it a rest.
Yeah.
You're gringos.
Yeah, but again, you got to understand we're talking about even forgetting about the demonstrations. Even what is usually referred to as the exile community are the old, hardline, right wing, don't want to let it go, hysterical, to hell with Fidel, and those people are like dying out. There just aren't that many of them left. And the proof in the pudding is look at the demonstrations. You had a bunch of young punks out there, like you'll get with any demonstration because it's party time. But other than that, you had a bunch of old banana boat people. That's all. 80,
Right,
90, 120 years old.
That's my point. The young guys, the young kids don't belong out there. They're torn just because of the Cubans, the young Cubans on Miami say they don't want to lose their heritage. That's the biggest problem between Anglos and Cubans in this community is they don't want to acclimate and they don't want to become normalized into society.
I think that the biggest thing that separates Cubans from the rest of this community is foreskin.
Well, that you may know about that. I don't.
I know a lot about it, sir. I could draw your diaphragm.
But I'm serious
I've
though.
done my research.
I think that's one of the big. You hear them. They'll come in a restaurant, a Cuban family. They speak Spanish. They come in.
Well,
they're
okay,
loud.
Ray. Sir, yeah, I understand what you're saying. I don't want to be rude to you, but I'm hanging up anyway. I mean, if we got to revisit all of these things, I mean, my stomach problem is going to come back, and I'm feeling pretty good right now if we have to revisit
all of these things.
Oh, Jesus, man, I'm going to start upchucking. They won't do this, and they won't do that, and no speak English, no pique pani. Oh, stop already, okay? Stop. Just step back into time, 5 or 10 minutes, and pretend we didn't have the conversation. We'll all feel a lot better, including me. Okay, sir, do you understand? Thank you. Oh, God. Where's Sandy Payton when we need her, okay? That lovely lady. Where's Sandy Payton when we need her to talk about bilingualism?
Have a nice day.
Yeah, thanks, bitch. Same old tired. Come on, let's move on. Let's move on, okay? Because I'll tell you one thing that most of these Cuban people want. They want to get laid. That's what they want. That's what they want real badly. Just like all you Polish people and Russian people and Goyim and Jewish people and the Chinese people. How do you think the Chinese made 1 billion babies without getting laid a lot? Oh. And I really do wonder how it is the Chinese could reproduce with such a tiny. It goes to show you, all you guys out there with a small penis, don't feel like inferior. Don't feel too bad about it. Because if it works for the Chinese, it can work for you.
Squirt, squirt.
Exactly. Oh, that guy just sent me back. I think I'm having a relapse. I better take a pill. Seriously, look at these. These are great. Antibiotics for my, I don't know what they are. It's like FLYMOTZIXPQ something.
Fly me to the moon.
Fly me to the moonish, yeah. Fly me to the cockamoon. Okay, let's pretend we didn't hear him. We're having a pretty good time here today. Everybody feels pretty good about it. We know it's the assholes on TV and a bunch of idiots out there in the streets who have no respect for anybody else's libertad with onions or bacon. I do like liver. It's bad for you, though. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Great.
I know the conversation's getting old, and I know you don't want to hear it anymore, but
I'll listen to whatever you got, pal, except the guy that was just on trying to rehash all the old. I mean, I just can't handle that.
All right, well, it's mind-boggling to me how a woman in Aventura could be murdered, and they catch the murderer, and her news gets on at 20 after 11 last night.
Wait a minute. We had a kid that got decapitated, a 12-year-old boy stuck his head on the school bus, got decapitated, died. We had a kid who choked on a hot dog in the lunchroom and died, 11-year-old boy, and the woman's body that they found in Aventura, the waitress, and all of these other things going on, and all that the local news had 99% on yesterday was a big major event that nothing really happened. Same old tired crap. You people at Channel 4, 6, 7, and 10, you suck. But anyway, go ahead, sir.
But how do you really feel?
Exactly. Let me say it again. They suck. They sucked a big one.
It's just mind-boggling to me, and that's why so many people are calling on the same issues because everyone's so passionate. The best one of the whole show on news yesterday was when the guy in the little red Honda almost ran somebody down.
What do you
He
mean
deserves
almost?
the medal.
What do you mean almost?
Well, unfortunately, they got back up.
He knocked two people right off their goddamn feet.
But they got back up.
Well, there you go. Okay, have a great day, sir. Yeah, I'm trying to smell the aroma from the end of that caller. Well, he didn't really mean it. Did he really mean it? Yeah, I think he did. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line, that toll-free worldwide line for you to speak your thing, for your opportunity to take advantage of the great libertad. Freedom of speech, which means as long as you say something that we like, you can say it, otherwise, to you. 877-785-6345.
You're an effing communist! You're a communist!
The visions of that lunatic just, I'll never forget it as long as I live. Hysterical. His eyes bulging out of his sockets. 4 minutes till noon at 560 WQAM.
The Neil Rogers Show. Sports Radio 560 QAM. I broke in through her bedroom window.
All right.
I made them to do my wig. What I did, I knew was criminal. But that ain't nothing new if you play for the fish. My girlfriend forgot to tell me that this other bitch was someone else's wife. Her silly husband was mean and healthy, and I found out when it chased me with a knife. Why didn't that bitch tell me? It was too dark to see. She'd be in bed with her husband, and that scared the piss out of me. Feet don't fail me now.
Okay, 12 noon, the big hand is on the little hand, and watch out where you're putting your hand. 12 noon at 560 WQM. Here's a fax that says, I couldn't give a crap less about these out-of-control professional spiffs, but I do have one complaint regarding our right-wing Nazi governor's wonderful decision to lift the tolls on the turnpike yesterday afternoon. They didn't turn off the goddamn sun pass system. How do you like that? I got charged up the rectum for each toll, it says on here. And also he says,
Get Bush,
because this guy's pissed off and fired up, and I don't blame him. And evidently, oh, by the way, Linda Robertson, who about once every 6 months, like all the other writers in this town, once or twice a year writes a good column. Otherwise, she doesn't know her ass from her elbow. Rocker's words have the strong stench of hate, she says. And there are some interesting things in here, which I won't read the whole article, but she says, you know, what are the limits of free speech in a country that values unbridled expression above all else? Here in the city of intolerance, protesters were free to insult Bill Clinton, Fidel Castro, and the Immigration Naturalization Service while snarling traffic in the shadow of the Freedom Tower, all in a misguided effort to keep a little boy who watched his mother die at sea from returning to his father in Cuba. A sad incident has mushroomed into a sadder spectacle and turned Elián González into a political pawn. How do you like that? Well said, Linda. And then she talks about the thing with Vinny Prospel and that Frenchman Patrice Brisebois in the NHL. What's wrong with that? He's an effing frog, isn't he?
Uh-huh.
So what's wrong with calling a frog a frog? Isn't that the way that expression goes? If you can call a spade, why can't you call a frog a frog?
Oh!
She says, can the most virulent anti-Castro exiles put aside their bitterness long enough to consider another point of view?
No.
And then she goes on about John is off his rocker this, and et cetera. Yeah, intolerance is worse. Then she throws a shot at talk shows, too. Had to put that in there, didn't you, Linda, huh? Bitch. But at any rate, it's a pretty interesting column. And Bud Selig, Bud Light, he comes up with, well, he's going to have to undergo psychiatric counseling, and then we'll decide what to do after the smoke clears. He's got as much of a right to be a bigot, and to, you know, the best thing, just keep your mouth shut. But this goes along with ESPN and all these other 24-hour channels that have to get sound bites, and Sports Illustrated and all these other stupid magazines that keep interviewing dumb jocks and ask them for their opinions on sociological issues, you know? Like some dumb moronic jock with a third-grade education is going to be a great sociologist and have something worthwhile to say?
No.
I don't think so. Just throw the ball, baby, and shut your mouth. With an F. Isn't there an F in mouth?
No.
Here's a lady in Hialeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I agree 100% on the fact that it inconveniences everyone around since they are blocking traffic, although I don't think everyone should come down on all Cubans in general because...
Nobody on this show is coming down on all Cubans. We've been pointing out repeatedly it's only a few hundred assholes.
Well, I'm not getting defensive about this. I'm just saying it shouldn't be, well, if you say you're not, well, but I don't think it should be all Cubans in general because...
What did I just get you saying?
Excuse me?
You said you're not being defensive, but you keep repeating over and over again the same thing.
Well, because there are some that just say all Cubans and this and I don't think that's right. You know,
when did you hear anybody say that on this program?
I haven't heard anyone separate. Just one caller that
I went out of my way, I don't know how many times, maybe 50,000 times, maybe 2 million times on a program, we've only been on 2 hours today, to point out, and I also made an impassioned thing about how sorry I feel that the media used this small handful, a few hundred people, to create this ugly stereotype, and that a lot of people assume that all Cubans feel this way. Didn't I make those comments over and over again? Yes, I did. I realized maybe you weren't listening from the beginning, sweetheart, but I've been very, 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 whatever the word is, to do that over and over again.
What'd you say?
I don't know.
To come over here to pick up the little boy, and they feel that that's the worst thing that could ever happen to this little boy, to be knocked on the door, to be picked up by people he never met, which psychiatrists feel that would hurt this little boy.
Yeah, right, psychiatrists. The psychiatrists are the ones who are saying that he belongs with his father, all the rational psychiatrists, and saying that all this crap that's going on here is very detrimental to him. But they got some professional hysterical Julio there on Channel 7 hawking the China again. And by the way, speaking about being picked up by people he never met before, didn't know, did he meet these other people and know that he's with these relatives here now?
No.
No. What a specious argument. And by the way, does he know his father? I think so. Who we talked to on the phone yesterday? I think he knows Daddy. I mean, the lamest, the saddest, the most tragic excuses. And I'll say it for the 8 millionth time. You can argue. I could make the greatest case, the most impassioned case for that kid staying here. I could bring tears to your eyes and make a tremendously impassioned case for freedom and libertad and all this other crap and comunism and all this other. I could do that. But what does it mean? What the hell does it mean? How about all the other kids here that go through all kinds of crap? How about the kids that can't get a textbook to take home at night in Dade County? All these people marching in the streets about this one little 6-year-old kid. Are they screaming about those things?
No.
About the kids that can't get a lunch in goddamn school every day and have to take their car and fly out to try to get a 15-minute lunch?
No.
And the one that got killed? The 3? No. See, the things that are important, nobody gets excited about. Have you heard me say that about 25 million times before?
Yeah.
The things that really count. But using this kid again for the same old tired emotion and waving that stupid ugly flag and that we're tired of it, okay? We don't want to hear no more from it. Sick of it. You're not fooling anybody with a brain. You may be fooling some emotional psychotic people who are too irrational to think clearly, but you're not fooling anybody with a brain that's functioning. Couldn't give a flying crap less about that kid. And of course they put on a big act. Oh no, it's him. No, it's not him. It's strictly Fidel. It's strictly to hell with Fidel. Who's going to win the brownie points this time? And of course, if the kid does go back, that's going to create an even bigger inferiority complex in the minds of these people that are running around yelling Libertad. Oh, gee, we lost another one. Just like when a baseball team came here. Cuban baseball team. Did the world come to an end?
No.
Did life go on? I think so. Here's Miami. Hello.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Good evening.
I am sorry to see this thing happen in Miami. This so reminds me of a terrorist activity.
Mm-hmm.
They take over a plane. They say, if you don't give us what we want, we're going to blow up the plane.
Right.
This is similar to that. And nobody in Washington or any of the politicians around here.
Nobody's blowing anybody up here yet.
Well, it's a terrorist activity whether they blow them up or not.
Yeah.
Either you do what we want, or we're going to do this, that, and the other.
Right, or we're going to screw up the whole time. In fact, some of these people have been holding up the signs, we built Miami, we will destroy it, or Miami is burning. I mean, what kind of crap is that?
Well, with a Cuban flag right next to it.
Right.
And the politicians in this town, don't call Lincoln or Eliana or Sanchez. Don't call those people, and even McCain and Jeb up in
well, what do you expect from good right-wing Republicans? They're pandering to their constituency. Well, what do you expect them to say?
Well, I'll tell you what, I've changed my mind on a lot of politicians, and a lot of friends of mine have also that feel the same way. This is ridiculous. I just had to express my opinion.
Okay.
And I appreciate your program.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And of course, the interesting thing with people like Ileana Gross and with the McCain and all these other, they don't have to. They don't have to do any of this because they've got those votes sewn up anyway. Any good, all they got to have is that elephant there with his trunk up in the air. They got 90% of that Cuban vote in this town anyway. So what difference does it make? They don't have to pander. Here's Dania. Hello.
Yeah, I go down on Cubans. It ain't bad.
Yeah, okay. Me too. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I was there first, though. Here's a mobile in West Palm Beach. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Neil, God. How you doing?
Okay.
Neil, God.
That's what I said.
Happy Friday.
Back to you.
Hey, listen, all these things going on in Miami with all these Cubans
all
protesting.
All of these things,
and, yeah, I mean, I don't give a flying crap. I really don't. Like you said, there's other more important stuff in the news.
Right.
We got the environment to worry about. We got crooked politicians to worry
kids
about.
That can't get a goddamn education, that can't go to school in porta potties. I mean, what kind of garbage is that?
Yeah, I mean,
worry about building John Henry a big stadium and making him a lot of money. We got important things to fish to fry.
Send the kid back and Cecil too.
Right.
All right, Neil.
Have a great life.
You too.
567-0560, pound 560, 9 minutes after noon at 560 WQM.
QAM.
Only in the Banana Republic, baby. Only in Miami.
He cut it away, quite literally, when I was circumcised.
Oi!
Somehow it grew back on me, amazingly, overnight. My foreskin's back after hanging like a fruit fly.
Oy vey, my foreskin's
Now
back.
I'm hung like a moose, and everything's fine.
Oy vey, my foreskin's back. After getting cut way short, now I'm hung like a racehorse. An angry rabbi cut me down the side. Ow, ow. I'm a big man now that it grew back overnight. Ow, except they see me.
My foreskin's back where the moil caused me trouble.
Oy vey, my foreskin's
Now
back.
it's awful big. In fact, the size has almost doubled.
Oy vey, my foreskin's back. Yay, my foreskin's
My
back.
foreskin's back now.
Yay, my
I'm
foreskin's
bigger
back.
than Milton Berle now.
Yay, my foreskin's back.
Foreskin's back, and now I'm bigger and I'm longer like an elephant trunk now.
5 minutes past noon at 560 WQM. Let's talk about something a lot more appetizing like stool specimens. I'm sorry, not right in the middle, not just before our lovely lunch gets here.
Good timing.
Huh? Yeah, right in the middle. Well, I'm trying to help on a diets out there. A lot of people trying to lose weight. A lot of real fat Americans out there, big fat cows like me, trying desperately to lose weight. Can't do it, baby. Oh, I have lost about 2 or 3 ounces. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Hey, Happy New Year, guys.
Same to you, sir.
You know, as your caller says, I'm pissed off and fired up.
All right.
You just said it's, I think it was around the election, you said the worm is turned in Metro-Dade in Dade County. I don't remember you saying that or not, unless I misunderstood you. But I think when his kid goes back, the worm's jumping out of the bottle, Neil.
Mm-hmm.
And,
well, the fact that there are so few people out there, which the media, of course, are very
Exactly.
disappointed at that, and so are some of these brothers to the Everglades all upset about that. But I think this is the turning point. They've drawn the line in the sand, and on their side, it's pretty vacant.
And I'm glad you brought the point up. It's that we made Miami and we can tear it down. I lived here all my life. I thought that was so much bull. I mean, it was
Not only bull, but I mean, talk about arrogance. What kind of crap is
But
that?
that's the word. There you go, arrogance. Yeah, arrogance.
Ungrateful bastard.
And he had a Cuban flag next to it. And I got to thank the guy in the red hat, like the first call said.
Okay, have a great day. 567-0560 pound. Well, they're squeezing themselves. They saw that. The TV, of course, have shown it over and over again. They saw that. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go.
Somebody's blocking the street. And supporters also showing up just outside Elián González.
And look at this. There are 2, 4, 5, and of course, here comes one of the relatives. There are like 20 cameras, a half a dozen reporters, and there are 5 people standing in front of the house where Elián González. And here you assholes go again. Here you go again on Channel 7. Supporters showing up. There are all these cameras and all the media people with their microphones, all these morons, and there's 4 or 5 people standing there, and maybe they're even the goddamn relatives for all we know. There's nobody
They might have
there.
just been walking by on their way somewhere.
Exactly. They're wondering if the Virgin Mary showed up for a lot of pizza or whatever the hell it was. Oh, that's in Hollywood? Oh, sorry. We'll see you later. What a bunch of lunatics you people are. Just keep blowing it up, trying to make a mountain out of a goddamn old hill. There's nothing going on. There ain't nothing going on, people. And you people at Channel 4, 6, 7, and 10, you just won't stop because you're relentless. You're a bunch of grave robbers. You ought to have your licenses lifted now. The FCC ought to come in here, take a view at what kind of crap you put on yesterday, and see the way you keep exploiting and trying to build up hysteria and irresponsibility in this community, and take your license away now. Oh! God damn it. Here's a mobile in Naples. Hello.
Morning, Neil, or afternoon, Neil.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
An embarrassed Cuban here in Naples. Neil, yesterday...
Well, you're embarrassed by what happened here or embarrassed to be in Naples?
Well,
Both.
a little of both, really.
I don't blame you.
Yesterday when George was finishing up the show, he had a dumbass call. And after the show, I changed over to a station out of Miami, 1140, and they have this lady... Mosquito, I believe, the Fly, I guess is her name.
Miss Mosquito?
And something like that, you know. And this woman, you talk about stirring the Schmidt. This lady was getting people in such a mood that it was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I don't understand. Thank God I don't live down there because I'd be out there like George.
Oh wait a minute, hang on a second.
Grounds, it's available. It's a public record. I think that conveys what I had to say. I said before I wasn't going to try this case in the press. I don't know how any jury or any finder of fact could come up with any other conclusion that he broke in that house to do no good.
Okay, go ahead, sir. I'm sorry. He was just looking around, Cecil. Go ahead.
this woman was on the radio, and when she saw that people were getting arrested, she got, pissed off, and she was going to call the mayor, and this was going to come to an end. They couldn't do this to these people. No, they should have been beaten to shit.
Okay, have a great day, sir. Woo! Why did I have a feeling that he was going to get just a tad carried away there? Yeah, so Fred Haddad there, Cecil's attorney, says, bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-ba. Yeah, the new deal, I guess he was breaking in there, and he took off the screen from the window, and he was breaking in to do a good deed at 5 in the morning, right? Yeah, he was going to do something good. Yeah, he was going to, pollinate her or something like that, yeah. Oh, my God, are you freaking kidding me?
No.
Or what? Not fooling this guy. Yeah, isn't that the thing? If you want to do a good deed for somebody, you wait for the opportunity, and then you pull off the screen window, and you break in there when they're sound asleep, and you do a good deed and leave your little deposit there. Great, and I bet you I know somebody that's going to agree with that. I don't want to mention any names here on this show, but that was, yeah, he'll probably buy into that. Here's a mobile in Melbourne. Hello. Mobile in Melbourne.
Yeah, hello.
Yes,
Neil.
sir.
Neil.
Yes.
I'm in a semi. I'm driving back from Orlando.
See.
And I was listening to the news this morning in Orlando. At the top of the news, they only like a couple minutes, and that was it. And, but these people made me puke, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I have an idea. What they should do, I have a lot more respect for them. They should all shot at a few planes, fly to Havana, and do this in Havana, and see if they could do it.
Okay.
Or if they got the balls to do it.
Right.
What do you think?
I say, we'll pack him a sandwich. Have a great day, amigo.
Okay, man.
Bye-bye. Oh, yeah, they just had another thing here. Now, what channel am I on? I'm still on 7 here. Wait a minute. One moment, please. I want to make sure that I rip. Yeah, still on 7 because they're in their noon news. And they had another clip. And, of course, it started out as Day of Decision, and now it's Struggle in the Streets. Struggle in the Streets. Oh. Yeah. And, of course, they're not guilty of yellow journalism. It's red journalism, bright red. Not red as in communista, but red as in blood, bloody red. And they're struggling in the street. And they showed, and there was one limp big Cuban flag hanging there. And there were like 3 people standing there, and I don't think they were just standing around. Now they're just showing people hanging out in their backyard. That's how desperate they are to try to convince us that there's some big demonstration going on. Is there a big thing?
No.
I sure ain't seen one yet. Not today. Oh, God. Here's a lady mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hello, Neil. How are you?
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Same to you.
The reason I'm calling, I call you every once in a while about guiding light.
Yeah.
Because of the Cubanistas yesterday, I missed guiding light.
I saw it.
Can you tell me what happened, please?
Well, let's see. What's her name? Carmen keeps hanging around Vanessa's room, of course, in the hospital.
Hoping that she wakes up or dies.
And what's his name? The prince's brother? The evil brother?
Edmund.
And Edmund got her away there long enough to write a $10,000 check toward what she owes him. And he keeps stalking and hanging over her shoulder, and he realizes that he's onto her, that something's going on.
Okay.
And then young Bill was back. Not looking too good, by the way. Looks like he's had a rough life this last couple of months. Young Bill was there to see Pilar. And, of course, Carmen kept sticking her head in the doorway to try to hear what the hell was being said because she's afraid Pilar's going to spill the beans.
Right.
And let's see, what's her name? The daughter that used to be 12, but now she's 17, Josh's daughter.
Right.
Told Josh at lunch that she was some kid from Mara, right. That used to be 10 and now she's 100 years old. And that some kid tried to rape her and yada yada, and that Olivia was the one that came in and interceded, and that's where Olivia was, which is why she missed the big meeting. And now he's trying to call Olivia, but she's boozing up with a champagne, and she's on the verge of maybe another attempted suicide, and Josh is on the way over to there, and that's where we are.
Oh, nothing with Cassie?
I
was waiting for Cassie and Richard because they were supposed to go back.
No, they haven't gone back yet. Oh, in fact, Richard, maybe it was either yesterday or the day before that he was fumbling around and got all nervous and was fantasizing about doing her right.
Cassie, yeah.
Yeah. No, they weren't on yesterday. They were taking the day off.
Well, then I was really looking forward to that.
He was taking his Viagra yesterday, I think.
Could I ask you a favor?
And by the way, let's face it, if you were Richard, who'd you rather do, Cassie or that old, the washed-out Reva, huh?
Well, yeah, you're right.
No
Cassie.
contest, that's right.
Exactly. For my friend Greg, could you play Prison Bitch?
Okay, I'll work on it.
And can I say Zygazon to you in the year 2000?
Okay.
And also, I'd like to call my husband Joe a douchewad.
Okay, see ya. Woo! Talk about pushing the envelope. I think she just licked it, if you know what I mean. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Now, let's see. You already played. See, I want to get on the same page with you here. So the next break, I'm just doing solo. Plus, I got to go pee, you know. I could pee in a cup here under the table. You'd never even know it. No, well, these short breaks, I don't have time to go pee. But I could play what she asked for, and then I have plenty of time to go pee. Because if I can do serious business in a minute and a half, I can certainly pee in about 30 seconds. Boy, thanks to Dr. Diamond, boy, I think those antibiotics are getting me out of the woods. Bacterial
Much
infection.
peppier today.
Huh?
You're full of pep.
Yeah,
Full of
because I
pickle
don't
vinegar.
feel, I still have a little lower stomach, you know, but sure as hell beats the alternative, what you start getting worried about, you know? Like a big tumor and things like that. Yeah, in fact, I think that by Monday I'm going to be full of it, vinegar, and if I don't go pretty soon, I'll be full of what goes with vinegar. Here is Boca. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
They need to take the little boy Gonzalez, the baby Jesus, I'm sorry,
The baby Jesus.
and the whole Cuban community and just...
Okay, great. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's a mobile in Miami Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how
How
you
come
doing?
I knew that I was going to have to hang up on him? Yes.
All right, Neil. Anyway, I'm another embarrassed Cuban here in Miami. Basically, these people that are out there are just wasting their time. Regardless of what happens with the kid, really what they're doing is just vying for political power here in the local area, fighting each other, trying to draw as much attention as possible to their numerous little organizations that only have 1 or 2 members each, and they're all out there, about 50 or 60 is all that's out in the street right now anyway. And it's just a big waste of time and embarrassment for the area, for, you know, the Cubans, for anybody, you know. They're getting everybody upset at them, and you know, it's not going to do any good. And keep up the faith. And I got my passport ready. Goodbye.
All right. Squeeze it hard. And your passport, too. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I'm debating whether to take a call or go take a leak, you know. I'm going to take something. Here's a mobile in Pembroke Pines. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Great.
Listen, Hank Tester on Channel 6 was just saying, and this is what just kills me, and I got a question about. Apparently Monday they're going to have...
Airport?
Yeah, the airport. And then somebody asked, hey, are you going to be doing this at other airports in the area? And the response was, well, not at this time. My question is, can't Basulto and Sanchez and some of these other leaders, is there some type of charge that can be brought against them for kind of inciting this behavior?
Sure, of course.
I mean, because it's...
But you see that everybody they're arresting, they go down and they process them and then they put them back out on the street.
But in other words, since they're the organizers of it, there wouldn't be any more like a serious charge for them as opposed to just the regular civil disobedience.
Inciting to riot is certainly a much more serious charge than just going out there and blocking the street.
Well, I'd like to see them try and do it in...
And they ought to take the news directors or whoever's in charge of Channel 4, 6, 7, and 10 and give them the same charge and put them in the same cell with the people with Saul, whatever his name is, Sanchez, and all those other assholes.
I couldn't agree with you more, Neil. You take care.
And adios. And I'll
Thanks.
see you in the Everglades, okay? And that Basulto, brothers to the sisters to the rescue guy, who's busy shooting the Alba 66 people in the feet. See, you keep saying I get them confused. There's nothing to confuse. It's all the same. It's the same person with a different name. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play what she wanted, which I realize it's nice and long, and I'm really sick and tired of it, to be honest with you. But nevertheless, it's 3:52. I'm going to take a nice leak, then I'll do the spot, and then...
They say our love is taboo, that what we're doing is wrong. But I don't care what they say, because my love is so strong. They tell us we should be ashamed. We're not husband and wife, but I cherish each moment with you. I'm so glad you're in my life. You're my prison bitch, my prison bitch. You're not like other men. I'm glad we share a prison cell when lights go out at 10. I can't accept the way I feel, now that would be a crime. As long as I am doing you, I don't mind doing time. 'Cause you're my prison bitch, and I have no regrets. I got you for a candy bar and a pack of cigarettes. At first you were resistant, but now you are my friend. I knew that I would get you in the end. Prison bitch, prison bitch. I guess that you were sent from up above. Yeah. Prison bitch, prison bitch. And now you are my prisoner.
I'm your prison bitch, and you're a sex machine. I only have one request. How about some Vaseline? Yeah. I'm tired of this prison cell. I need to get away. They sentence me to 7 years, not 7 times a day. I'm your prison bitch, your prison bitch. You nymphomaniac. I really hate these knockers that you tattooed on my back. I thought that I could break away, but now I'm losing hope.
Squirt, squirt.
God, I'm tired of picking up the soap.
Prison bitch, prison bitch. Burn out the lights 'cause I can hardly wait. Prison bitch, prison bitch.
When I get out, I'm ready to go straight.
You're my prison bitch, my prison bitch. I'll never say goodbye. You're not like all the others. Too bad they had to die.
On the second thought, I think I'll stay if you want me to. Your prison bitch is never leaving you.
Yeah, at first you were my cellmate, but now you're my soulmate. Let's go, come here, baby. Come here.
Oh, no, not again. Now I know why they call you a hard criminal.
Hang on. You're about to find out why they call this the pokey.
1229 at 560 WQM. So anyway, the thing they just had on there now, they had like 10 people on Channel 7. While the struggle in the streets is going on, 10 people. Is there a struggle there?
No.
I don't see it. You're struggling.
To get a newscast together.
Exactly. They're struggling to try to make something out of nothing is what you're struggling to do. Give it a rest, okay? Give it up. Here's Fort Myers. Hello.
Yeah, hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Believe it or not, I drive a limo over here in Fort Myers, and I'm going over here to pick up some people taking the Miami International. Am I going to have to, like, battle my way in and out of Hialeah or what?
No.
No?
Nothing going on here right now.
No, it's just those 10 fomenters.
They just showed Flagler and First in downtown Miami. Some clips from earlier this morning, and the Miami police this time. Evidently, somebody must have gotten to the powers that be, but they were out there making sure that nothing's going on. And there may be a handful, 8 or 9 people standing on the sidewalk with their flags off to the side, not blocking the streets. Nothing is going on.
Oh, good. Thank God. And thank you.
Okay, and God bless you, pal.
Bye-bye.
Clear sailing. Clear sailing at the moment. And all this crap, they're going to do this, and they're going to do that, and they're going to do the airport. Yeah, give it a shot, okay? I don't think so. I really don't think so. Because the worm has finally turned. And constantly threatening and threatening and threatening. We're going to do this, and we're going to do that. See, this shows the true character of these people. We're going to do whatever it takes to get our way. No, I'm sorry, it ain't going to work. You're not going to get your way. The INS is not going to make a final decision. Well, they already have, but they're not going to change their decision based on a bunch of people doing irresponsible things. It's not going to happen. It's like that old expression, not taking no for an answer, and that's basically what these people are saying. And, of course, this business about, well, the father should come here. If you were the father, would you come here into the middle of this crap that's going on here?
No.
With the expectation that you'd have a free choice at that point of doing whatever you want?
No.
Of course not. Here's Miami. Hello?
Yeah, Leo.
Yes, sir.
I got stuck out there in traffic, and let me tell you, the worst human trash that I have ever seen was out there.
Yeah.
These are the people that don't work, collect unemployment. You know, they fall down at Kmart to collect insurance.
Yeah.
They should take them all back and send them back to Cuba.
Yeah, that's a great occupation, by the way. What do you do for a living? Oh, slip and falls. Yeah, there's some professional slip and fall guys out there that make a fortune.
I tell you, man, it was scary. I didn't think I thought I was in the Havana.
Yeah.
The
Well,
way they
maybe that's where some of these people belong, you know?
Send them all back.
Okay.
That's my boat.
Oh, and by the way, the noon news is over on Channel 7, and now we're back to that famous headline news. How do you like that? That's a real great station, by the way. That's got to put on simulcast CNN headline news at 12:30 because you can't fill up an hour newscast because there's nothing going on. Simulcasting CNN headline news. Oh, my God. What a joke. Oh, there's Jenny Jones on NBC, and there's the Young and the Horny. Let's see, what's the 10? We don't want to leave that with Port Charles. What the hell is that? Well, we better leave on 7 because we know if that anything happens, Channel 7, they'll be hyperventilating on it and right next to it. And by the way, Rick Sanchez, how about that National Council of Churches? Comunista, comunista, comunista. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil, happy Y2K.
Back to you. Don't talk
Hey,
to
Neil,
2K.
just wanted to ask you about a diet that I started, Xanaco. What's your opinion on that?
Oh, it's great out here. Yeah.
Got a lot of that Cuban grease coming out.
You keep you real busy all day. You won't have time to eat.
Yeah.
My advice is stay close to home.
Yeah, but you think, I mean, your advice on it, is it a good diet?
I wouldn't take that. The way my stomach's been the last 3 weeks, I haven't needed any Xanac. I've been making a lot of quick runs. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. Well, I just wanted to...
listen, when you go into your neighborhood bar this weekend, watch out for those oily stools.
I hear you. I just wanted to let everyone out there that's listening that I'm also a fellow Cuban, and I want to apologize for all those dumbasses out there that are making fools out of us Cubans.
Okay, pal, don't worry about it.
And
we know who they are.
And just to finish it off, I just wanted to call Rick Sanchez and all the newscasts, Channel 7, that they're all douchebags.
Okay, and hasta que your metas.
All right.
Okay. 25 till 1 at 560 WQN. The verdict is almost unanimous in this audience, okay, in this crowd. It's got nothing to do. Should he stay? Should he go? That's not the issue. If he stays, fine with me. I don't care. If he goes, that's fine. That means nothing.
Oh, it's the baby Jesus. It's the baby Jesus.
Not that we're dealing with any irrational people. You understand that?
Oh, the baby Jesus.
Here's Parkland. Hello.
Oh, good afternoon, Neil.
Yes,
How
sir.
are you?
Buenos dias.
First-time caller.
All right.
And long-time listener, whether with the calls or without calls. Neil, my thing is this.
What is your thing?
With everyone espousing disobedience and blocking the streets and protesting and stuff, if we challenge all that energies into one thing, they would never have to have left Cuba.
Yeah.
And I can't understand it because we opened the doors.
But you know something? It's 40 years ago. It's water over the bridge. The horses out of the barn. It's ancient history. We're here now. Let's move on with our lives. Let's stop crying over spilt milk. Let's stop screaming and yelling. He's not going to go away. And let's start living here and taking care of what we need to take care of here. You know what I'm saying, sir?
And that's true.
Let's CCOB.
Yes, when the immigration policy was that they had reset, it should have been clear.
Right.
Because a lot of people have died out there, and the relatives made it here that they sent them back.
Yeah.
Reappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
But it's nothing. I really enjoy your program.
Okay.
And thank you.
And have a great day.
Bye.
We'll reappropriate your reconsider. 56705, repatriate, reappropriate, what are you giving him a song and a dance? George is giving a look. He made a mistake, yeah? He was one of our more articulate callers. What does that tell you? Although I did hear those intellectual people you were talking to yesterday. I thought, oh, boy.
You did? When was that?
I don't know. Oh, maybe I dreamed it last night. Or maybe it was when Andy Moss called the last time. You know Andy Moss? He's an asshole. Oh, God. Here's a mobile in North Miami. Hello, or Miami, or somewhere.
Uncle Neil.
Yes, sir.
Did you happen to hear Mr. Mayor Pinellas' comments on radio yesterday?
On radio, no.
Yeah, well, he went on in English language first and said, we're all Americans, this is democracy, let's all live together.
Uh-huh.
Then goes over to the Cuban side of the Spanish radios and said, I am Cuban first and I'm neutral.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I'll tell you one thing he always is. He's an asshole. Yeah, in any language.
Anyway, I was going to say is that a lot of people say the reason why the policemen down here don't do anything is that Cubans won't hit Cubans. I said what they need to do is look at the training films from the WTO in Seattle because whites were doing whites.
Okay.
Okay.
And have a great day. Here's a fact that says the person that ran over the people yesterday should be given the same punishment as Rick Sanchez, a TV show. Oh! There you go. That's a good point. Oh, 5:30? 5:30 on Channel 7, a guy in a red car is going to have his own show. And then here's one that, I wouldn't read this, something about poop and stink and the airport and this and that. Yeah, okay, whatever you say. Here's a lady in Sunrise. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
Dad. Hey, I want to ask you a question.
Yes?
Sorry about this. First time caller.
Are you getting strangled with that phone cord, or did Cecil just come in here, or what?
Stop it.
We just taking a look.
Let me just ask a question, all right?
Go ahead.
What do those fishermen think now after they've picked up the boy and all this has happened?
They want him to stay here.
Oh, they're not saying, like, shit, next time we're going to come by and, like, pop the inner tube and keep going?
No. Oh. I think she said Schmidt in there, didn't she? I don't know. Maybe she did. Maybe she didn't sound like she had a little mush in her mouth. Oh, great lunch today from Atlantic City Subs, Illinois. And you remember what happened to that kid yesterday with that hot dog?
Uh-oh. That's all right. I know the Heimlich.
Yeah, they did there, too. And did it help?
No.
He's dead. He died. What is this? That would be cruel, don't they? What is this thing from Atlantic City Subs about the Super Sub Bowl special? What is that?
They stuck it on top of a thing, so I guess they want you to.
Feeds 10 linemen or 15 cheerleaders for only $59.95. Order must be placed 72 hours before kickoff. Oh, I see. It's the Super Bowl sub for only $59.95. And it comes with potato salad and coleslaw and sodas and, brownies, too. For all you brownie hands out there. Yeah, my favorite. Well, I've been packing a lot of specimens the last 24 hours with my doctor. Yeah, in tubes and smearing on. Oh, yeah. Well, they like that stuff. I think they play with it. 21 before 1 at 560 WQAM. Are you tired of paying too much for long-distance calls?
Uh-huh.
Then you need to pick up the TalkTalk phone card. With the TalkTalk phone card, you'll save money every time you pick up your instrument and that damn phone, too. You'll pay 59 cents the first minute and then just 3 cents per minute after that. Just 3 cents a minute. With the TalkTalk phone card, you'll always get reliable, clear connections. Just dial your access number, enter your PIN number, and start talking to friends and family anywhere in the U.S. for only 3 cents a minute. And the TalkTalk phone card's easy to find. It's the bright yellow card you'll find at your local convenience stores and gas stations from the Keys all the way to the Palm Beaches. So the next time you make a long-distance call, make it with the bright yellow card, the TalkTalk phone card, and start talking more for a lot less.
This is 560 QAM.
Welcome to International Airport. Please, no parking.
Rachel, we'll never make it.
There's no use running. Your flight is gone.
Who said that? It sounds like...
It's me, the voice of canceled flights everywhere. See that gentleman there?
She can't see us.
He's using Nextel Direct Connect, a digital two-way radio feature on their Motorola phones. His flight was canceled, and he's already got a backup plan and a meeting rescheduled. Instant contact, instant answers, no phone tag.
We've got cell phones.
Well, I dare you to do all that as fast as he did.
She has a point.
Plus, Harry has something to tell you about the numbers on the report.
Rachel, she knows about the numbers.
She sees everything. Nextel, how business gets done. Enjoy your flight.
When instant answers are critical, people who make it happen rely on Nextel. Sign up before February 29th and get free incoming cellular calls till the end of 2000. Nextel, how business gets done. Call 1-800-NEXTEL-9. Phones by Motorola. Only available on selected rate plans. Requires new activation.
Ed Kaplan knows the score. Starting at 10 till the last game ends. Weeknights only on Sports Radio 560 QAM.
It's Dave in Miami town.
Yes.
At 560 WQAM.
Well there, Georgie Jr. Nice to be out here fishing with you. Looks like you pretty much got the election won. I gotta ask, how'd you do it, son?
Oh, hey, Dad, it was easy. I just listened to my advisors.
The ones that used to be my advisors?
That's right, Daddy. Same ones.
Huh. Well, what'd they tell you to do, George W.?
They said, read my lips. Drink Bush Light.
Bush Light?
Uh-huh. It has all the fame and fortune of my good family name without any of that unwanted specific content or substantive insight into my vision for the nation.
Huh. Good boy. You're going to make a fine listener at cabinet meetings.
Looking for popularity without having to actually express any real political agenda? Want to win it all without ever actually saying what you're thinking? Try Bush Light.
Just a few sips and I find I'm not bothered with thinking at all.
Bush Light almost looks like the original, but it's not.
I believe that the most important aspect of a good foreign policy is being able to have a policy regarding foreign affairs. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Bush Light.
Bush Light, for the candidate who has it all and did nothing to get there.
Okay. It's boy, I wish you were abrupt. 18 to 1 at 560 WQM. By the way, I saw my good close friend Mark, what's his name? Vanderpool, the guy that does Hurricanes sports on his station, out in the hallway with Peter Lynn. He does a good job. He's very good. And he said to me,
"The hurricane f***ing blow."
Didn't take him long to figure it out. Okay, where are we going? We're going to the Grove. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
And back to you.
I'm having a little pasta here, so I'm going to have to give it up. Oh, God, no, it tastes a lot
Okay, I'll
better.
tell you what. You eat your pasta. I'm having my sub without the bread from Atlantic City Subs.
Oh, I think I got the better of that one.
Okay. I think so. You feel good.
Oh. What disturbs me the most of your callers'
Yes, sir.
anger is that they're really not directed at the protesters. They're really directed at Cubans in general.
Now, why would you say that?
Because the protest is such a minor thing. It has been a couple streets have been blocked off by a couple hundred people, and most people are bright enough to recognize that that's just an aberration.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Downtown Biscayne at the Port of Miami was blocked off. It was backed up for hours yesterday, and all the truckers who were trying to deliver their goods to the Port of Miami were backed up for miles because of what was going on until Metro went in there and started dispersing the crowd and arresting people. You know that.
Well, okay, let me ask you a question.
It's not like it was some little side street where people decided to hold a little protest in the street.
Well, do you think most of your callers' anger is directed at the protest or at Cubans in general?
I don't guess. I don't know. I know there are a lot of people out there who don't like Cubans in general and just seize on an opportunity like this to spread, to vet, and, the people talking about the red car and we're real happy to see. I mean, I know where those people are coming from.
Have you ever had one angle caller?
Wait a minute. Mm-hmm. But you do have to understand that every time we have something like this happen, and every time the media plays it up hysterically like they did yesterday, it only magnifies that anger and that resentment because it's a very ugly stereotype.
But it shouldn't be there to begin with, the anger and the resentment. It shouldn't be there to begin with.
Well, how about anger and resentment against black people, against gay people? I mean, people have their prejudices. I hate to break the news to you. And then just like that one guy that wanted to launch into a whole tirade about people that don't speak English. I mean, this is not something that just happened with Elián González. This has been going on for 40 years.
Have you ever had one Anglo caller say anything positive about the Cuban migration into Miami? One positive thing.
I don't know. I've been on the air for 24 years. I don't remember.
Well, since you came back.
Since I came back, yeah. When?
Have you ever had one Anglo caller say anything positive about the Cuban migration into South Florida?
I don't know.
Well, that means the answer is no.
But what kind of a topic is that? How about if we ever had any Anglo caller say good things about the Chinese who came in and built Chinese restaurants? I mean, what does that mean? Is that a topic?
Well, I don't know about Chinese. We don't have any Chinese population down here.
But we have a lot of Chinese restaurants, so there must be some fakers out there.
Why is the topic of conversation always something negative about it?
No. Because, wait a minute. Don't put the onus on the rest of the population. They're not the ones who are out there in the streets. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. That's like saying, how come we don't talk about the dogs that didn't get lost?
I understand that, and you're right. What I'm saying is that I don't think the anger is directed so much at the protest as it is at Cubans in general. And that's disturbing, and you should address that.
But you're generalizing just as much as the people you're pointing the finger at. You're generalizing that all of us who are upset by what went on yesterday are generalizing to all the Cubans, and I don't believe that. Some are and some aren't.
I said most of your callers. I didn't say all of them.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm reading an article right now here on how successful Cubans are in this country, more so than even the average white American. Why isn't that ever addressed by any of your Anglo callers?
So what are we supposed to do about that? Haven't I talked on this show about the fact that Cubans, generally speaking, are well-educated and affluent?
Sometimes.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Make a topic about that every day? Would that make you feel better?
Maybe for about 15 minutes.
And to say what?
To address, hey, here are some of the positive contributions that Cubans have done here for 40 years in South Florida.
We don't do that on this show. You know that. That's not the kind of thing you talk about on a talk show. Here's the positive things that blacks have done in this community. I mean, well, what is that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you should try it out. Maybe you'll get even better ratings.
Okay, have a great day. Okay. Maybe I'll get even better ratings. See, I'm not a panderer, sir. I come here, I express my points of view. I listen to you for a very lengthy period of time there. I don't need anybody to tell me how to do the show or what to say. Talking about how successful the Cubans have been in this country is not a topic on a talk show. I just don't get it. And not only that, but how many of those kinds of programs do we have? Didn't we just have a couple of weeks ago, Geraldo had that show about not just Cubans, but about Hispanics in America? Do you remember that show?
Yeah, I turned it off.
Oh, okay, but I'm just telling you, there it was. It's not that it isn't there, but it's just not the kind of thing we talk about on this show.
It's boring.
Exactly. Let's talk about the great contributions of the Polish people in this country. How about all the Jewish people, the ones that don't have the big noses? I mean, what do you... Oh, and by the way, speaking of that, I almost forgot the best piece of news from this week. Monica Lewinsky.
Oh!
Lots and lots of stations are refusing to carry those Jenny Craig ads, and as a result, they're running old ads now to try to save a dying ship, Jenny Craig, because they're getting too many complaints about that fat bitch. I mean, they must have really been desperate. They must have been on their last dying gasp legs at Jenny Craig to get that fat bitch. And talk about a brilliant move. Talk about shooting yourself in the... Oh, sorry, Mr. Basulto. Talk about... Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. It's the Alba 66 people, the people on that diet. I get all those diets confused. I just don't understand this guy. I mean, people are people. And this business about, well, you know, we got to suck up to Cubans and we got to suck up to... How about let's talk about the Puerto Ricans? We'll get George pissed off. All the great Puerto Ricans. I can't think of any, but there must be some.
Geraldo, you just mentioned him.
He's Jewish.
Also Puerto Rican.
Half and half. He's half and half, so you can say he's Puerto Rican, I'll say he's Jewish. Plus, who wants him anyway? Does anybody want to take credit for him?
No.
Screw him. He's yesterday's news. Here's Kendall. Hello.
Yeah, Neil?
Yes, sir.
I just want to clarify 3 points on all these callers that continue making a big deal about the Cuban demonstration.
Uh-huh.
First of all, your truck drivers, that, you know, it's such a shame that the street were blocked off. Now, when they went to Washington, D.C., and blocked off the whole city because Jimmy Hoffa was indicted by Robert F. Kennedy, that was okay. Secondly, when I was in Vietnam, all this white trash and black were burning American flags. I didn't see any Cuban burning any American
all those
flags.
communists, sir? Is that what you're saying? All the communistas like Jane Fonda?
Well,
and
all
Joan
this
Baez?
anti-war like Jane Fonda and all that.
Okay, listen, sir, you're old and so is your song. You're very, very old and so is your tired old song. And speaking of Vietnam, I was thinking about that driving to work this morning. I wonder how about if Joan Baez came to town to do a concert here and sing some anti-Vietnam War songs.
Commie bitch.
Yeah, right. Comunista bitch. Don't feed me a song and a dancer and talk about white trash and black trash. You're a professional frickin' ethnic asshole. I think I'm done. Well, I thought maybe there was another word. Was there another word?
No.
Oh, that was enough. Professional ethnic. This is what it degenerates into. I have no use for that. Just like the guy that called 2 calls ago. I don't care about Cubans. I don't care about Puerto Ricans. I don't care about Schwarzers. I don't care about Jews. I don't care about fags. People are people. Period. That's the way I operate on this show because that's the way I operate in my life. I don't care. And if some of you assholes would get out of town a little bit and travel the world like I have, not that I've been all over the world, but I've been to enough different places to understand what the world is all about, you would discover that no matter where you go, there are wonderful people, there are scumbag people, there are kind of like nondescript in the middle people who are meaningless to you. That's life. And I get just worn out to the point of to a frazzle, to the point of exhaustion from listening to these people with their goddamn professional ethnic crap. God, it makes me nauseous. Makes me want to vomit, even though it's a great lunch. So I better not give it back at you. Not yet. Right on the edge of puking my guts out. Listening to all this crap. I don't give a flying crap about the Cuban people and the goddamn people from La República Dominicana and the Haitian people. People are people, okay? Oh, and we've accomplished this and we've accomplished that. And I got news for you, okay? The only reason anybody accomplishes something is because they have the opportunity to accomplish it. So don't slap us in the face by telling us, oh, well, we made Miami and we're going to destroy it. That's not the kind of message that anybody wants to get. That doesn't send a message to me of gratitude for having the opportunity to make whatever the hell it is you made and your success. In fact, if it's so easy to do it, if you didn't need anybody to give you the opportunity, get on the goddamn banana boat and go back there and see how much success you build. We'll watch. We'll send all the reporters over there. We'll even send Rick Sanchez to squat over your ass. Maybe run you over. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello.
In fact, that's a good idea. Let's have Rick Sanchez drive down there in the middle of those crowds. I'm sorry. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil.
Yes. Oh, that was him in the red car? Oh, Jesus.
Love your show. First time caller, long time listener.
Okay. That was Rick Sanchez in that damn red car. Well, he was in a hurry. He had to get back to Channel 7 to hyperventilate some more.
I saw him the other night. I think that
to answer a previous caller, there are a lot of very positive things that have happened with the influx of people from all over the world and all over the United States.
And a lot of negative things, yes.
And yes, but I think that they have refueled and reignited some of the competitive spirit that Miami might not have had in the early 60s. When I came down here, it was not the town that it is today, and for the most part, I believe it's a better city.
I don't.
Everything.
I don't. I came here in 1976. This town is a toilet compared to what it was when I came here.
Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but
it's not debatable. It is.
Okay. I think
when I came here, Dade County was a nice place, and I'm not talking about because of Cubans or this one or that one. I'm just telling you, this is what has evolved. Dade County has become a festering toilet. No, you can laugh all you want.
Okay, I hear you.
I used to live at the Twin Lakes Racquet Club. You know where that is? 151st and 441.
Yes, I do.
Okay, and that was a very nice neighborhood when I lived there. It's a toilet now.
Well, I see a lot of positive.
Do you disagree with me? Is that a nice neighborhood?
No, it's not.
Oh.
No. But I think there are areas that have gained and areas that have lost. Miami Beach is much better today than it was years ago.
No, you're absolutely wrong, sir. You're talking about 10 blocks of South Beach with the Art Deco hotels and all the goddamn steroid-induced plastic people. Miami Beach is not better off. How about how about north? How about between the Fontainebleau and, say, South Beach? Is that better off than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago?
Oh, probably not, but I think the redistribution of the wealth has moved around a little bit, and I think it's far from done.
Well, what redistribution of wealth to whom? Who's got the wealth? You talking about Madonna and Sly Stallone and all these plastic scumbags, celebrities? Is that where the wealth all went? Well, what does that mean?
I think they're spending some of it here and there, but oh, God, I love your show, Neil.
Have a great day. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, well, he's happy. I mean, I'm not saying I'm unhappy, but to try to say that things are better now than they were here 20 years ago, now maybe when he came here in his 60s, he's been here a lot longer than I have. All I can judge is based on the 24 years that I've lived here, and for anybody to tell me that Dade County is better shape now than it was 24 years ago, all I can say is, yeah, right. Give me a break. And anybody who doesn't think that the Mariel boat lift was tremendously detrimental to Miami Beach and other parts of this town also is living in a dream world. That would be saying like the riots in '67 in Detroit were, helpful to the community. Here we are 33 years later in the next supposed century, and you can drive back on 8 Mile Road and several other places I could tell you in Detroit, and you'd still find the same places boarded up, closed up, blocked off, sitting there, closed for 33 years in Detroit. Because of the riots. And that wasn't Cubans, by the way. That was people crazy, burning down their own city. I mean, try to be a little bit objective about it. There's nothing wrong with being honest. I mean, you can try to sugarcoat life if that makes you feel better. But please don't tell me that this Dade County is on the move. It's on the upswing. It's yeah, right. So is the Bowery. It's come a long way since Rudy got in there. Oh, yeah. He's cleaning up that Bowery. Isn't he?
No.
Yeah. 12:56 at 560 WQM, like all.
The sports leader.
We love the leader.
Sports Radio 560. QAM.
It's the 1 to 2 hour. Highway.
Jimmy and Danny, Jimmy and Danny, Danny and Jimmy, Jimmy and Danny, Danny and Jimmy, Jimmy and Danny, Jimmy and Danny, We have a mobile from Miramar. Hello?
Oh, yeah, can you hear me okay? I got a question about
Go
your Jimmy and Danny situation.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Danny, Jimmy and
David Woodley.
Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy and Danny. Danny and Jimmy and Danny. Jimmy. Back with more about Jimmy and Danny after this word from Ballywan's Apartments, where every apartment comes with its own Frigidaire.
Oh, no.
Phil, did you?
Oh, no.
Did you drop a sandwich?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
God damn it.
It's all right, I'll play some music.
No, don't play some music. No.
Oh, onion.
Don't worry about it.
Nice
Like
talk
I said, worry about what?
Nice talk up.
Well, there's more sandwich. What am I not going to eat that off the floor? Jesus Christ, the floor right under where I'm sitting here, where I'm farting and belching and puking all these last almost a year now. By the way, we've been up here in the studio. It's almost a year, getting real close. Are we getting close to finishing here on the third floor?
No.
No. Got some lovely paint on those doors, though, man. Am I impressed? Wow. This thing is really humming along. Can you hear it humming? Here's Coral Springs. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, Neil?
Okay.
I joined the show a little late, and I don't know if you already spoke about this, but last night on ABC they had scheduled a program called Cuba in My Heart.
Yeah, somebody mentioned that.
Oh, they did mention it already? Okay, well then, how about those LA King fans? Aren't they the worst or what?
What did they do?
Oh man, they were bothering the bench. They were throwing things at Murray. They had to stop the game. You didn't see the game?
No.
Not at all?
Nope.
No. They had a
Past my bedtime.
big problem with the essays from the barrio.
Yeah, but they won the game.
And they won the game. Yeah, well.
That's the sad part, a girls team that hasn't. How long is it since the Kings won a game? It's been what, about 5 years since they won a game? They've been sticking the joint out.
The last 9 games they didn't have a win. I don't know. We didn't look good. I don't know. I think the speed skaters were holding Pavel back. I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Okay, have a great day. What is he? Does anybody know what he's talking about?
No.
Okay, 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Oh, he must be talking about the Panthers. Remember them?
No.
No, I don't remember that. Are they still playing? Are they still in the league? I don't know. Yeah, you guys there with Sports Channel and with the organization, you better start getting your P's and Q's a little straightened out because you missed 2 of the great games of the whole season, back-to-back, and the crappy schedule. I mean, this team doesn't play another home game for the next 700 years, I don't think. And how the hell, and not only that, but, you compound that by the time that those West Coast games are on, and it's pretty damn hard to keep and to maintain any goddamn interest to keep it up. You know what I'm saying? What's that Pavel line under the one in here where he says it hurts when he, what does he say? It hurts, no. What is it under?
Who?
Oh, huh?
What?
The Pavel Brewery line where it says it hurts when I touch it?
It's not under Pavel?
No, it's not under Pavel. Are you crazy? I'll find it. See, now it's kind of like a moot point. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T line. Here's Hollywood. Hello.
Hey, how you doing, Neil?
Okay.
Hey, I just got a question and a comment for you. I was just wondering if you heard about the Cecil Collins thing about his attorney dropping the case, possibly because they're thinking that he had an affair with the person who he broke in the apartment with.
His attorney is thinking of dropping the case?
Yes.
What you're trying to say is the attorney wants the case to be dropped? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you heard that. It was just on the news just a second ago.
It was on the news that his attorney is saying that, and in the meantime, they interviewed about a half a dozen or more of the Dolphin players out there, and they all said that they didn't know her and they didn't have anything to do with her and that this is all a bunch of crap. In addition to which, let me ask you something. If you're having an affair with somebody, you take the screen off their window and break in at 5:30 in the morning. In addition to which, he already confessed 2 days ago.
I agree with you 100%.
He already confessed to it. So Fred Haddad, who said the other day that he never defended a Dolphin who lost, is just grasping for straws.
I agree with you 100%.
But I'm sure that I know somebody on this station who will agree with what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to make any names. Funny. And have a great day.
Wait, Neil?
Yes.
I just have one quick comment. Let's send a bunch of Cubans to Haiti.
Okay. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Yeah, I mean, if you're having like a sexual liaison with somebody else, I mean, don't you generally, if you want to hook up with them after a night out of drinking, you take the screen off the window and you bust in the window and and then when the husband starts chasing you, run out the door screaming like crazy, screaming feet don't fail me now and stuff like that. But always turn the tables. It's the woman. She's the slut. She's the whore. She's the loose woman. She's the right. And I hate to break the news to you, but if some of the people in the station, before they open up a big mouth, would read the whole article in the newspapers and find out that they did interview over there at Dolphin Camp a whole bunch of different guys, and they said, do you know this woman?
No.
Have you had relations with her?
No.
Did you ever steal her freight train?
No.
No. They didn't know her from Jack Schmidt. Here's Miami Lakes. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Okay.
Listen, everybody's forgot to make mention of the one politician that's got the kid going to his school. The school board member that got caught carrying the guns through the metal detectors in the airport.
Yeah.
Real good guy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good example.
How's Bert Hernandez doing, by the way?
Who?
Okay. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. I wonder if his wife is still doing the lawyer thing.
Uh-huh.
Well, he's doing hard time. Why shouldn't the lawyer? Here's a mobile in West Palm. Hello. Mobile in West Palm.
Hey, Neil, Hawaii.
Okay, sir.
Neil, just let you know that the Cubans are having a little demonstration in West Palm Beach also.
Uh-huh. Both of them?
Yep. It's small. It's about 75 people right across the street from the Palm Beach Post.
Right. Oh, he said being a Cuban had disgusted the Schmidt out of him is what he said. So he left the M out. Don't leave the M out, pal. That's what Eminem says. Don't leave the M out. 567. What's that number on the out-of-town line? 877-785 Neil. 877-785-6345. Rolling along, singing a song, hoping for the best. We'll be at Nick's Cigars tomorrow, noon to 2, with the Bacardi girls and rum sampling and all kinds of Bush's new products, Tequiza and Rumba, and cigar rolling demonstrations, and lots of good stogies for everybody. And thank God my stomach is all straightened out just in time for that. What?
Nothing. You said rumba.
Rumba. Yeah, everybody rumba. Come on, let's go. Everybody, yeah.
Actually, that was a cha-cha, but...
Are you ready to rumba? Isn't that what the guy says? Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Neil, Dad.
Yes, sir.
I got a little something to say about that gentleman who called up that said Dade County was better off. I was born and raised here in Miami. I was raised in Carroll City. And
I think somebody owes you an apology, sir.
A lot. I mean, years and years of apologies. I grew up with cows across the street from my house, and Palmetto Expressway was a 2-lane highway with no overpasses. You drive up in Carroll City now today, and they ain't got nothing against it, but that neighborhood is where it was, the way that was. Well, you know what I'm trying to say.
How about North Miami? How about North Miami Beach?
Anywhere. I mean,
sir, I'm going to tell you that the demarcation line, I'm going to say it, I've said it many times before, when they closed down Corky's in North Miami Beach, that was the day that Dade County officially died. That was the last nail in the coffin for Dade County when they closed down the Corky's. You know what I'm talking about?
Absolutely, yes,
North
sir.
Miami Beach, the legendary Corky's.
Yes, sir.
Those great little potato pancakes.
Yes, sir.
They should have put up a sign saying, Dade County, let's go have let's get a minion together and say cottage because Dade County is dead.
I mean, it's just, I don't want to go there no more. And as far as these,
You don't even want to go there.
I don't. I'm so pissed off and fired up.
If we could just get some closure for all of this. Yeah.
Listen, these Cuban protesters that are out there on the street. I'm a salesman. I'm on the street. They're disrupting my life. Every sale call that I'm late to is a possibility. I'm not going to be able to put food on the table for my wife and for my kids. I may not be able to pay my bills. And for what? The law, the Immigration and Naturalization Service said this kid's going back.
Yeah.
Period. End of conversation. That's it. Let it go. The Cubans are not going to change the Constitution. They're not going to change the laws, and they all can go to hell. Because
you know something? They could, the same people, the same hysterical people, just like they were doing a couple of days ago in the INS building. They were standing on the corner, on the sidewalk. They were out of the streets. They weren't blocking off traffic. There could be thousands of people, if they felt that strongly about it, who would be standing in front of all kinds of places if they would just stay out of the street. Nobody wants to deny them a right to demonstrate or protest, but just stop screwing up everybody else's life because all it's going to do is piss people off.
Not piss them off. It's going to turn them against what they're trying to get. You know, they're trying to come up and say, hey, look, this kid doesn't need to go back. And you know what? I want this kid to go back now because these people, they've turned me against the Cuban
that's right.
people.
They're doing more. They're doing more harm. They're turning public opinion against their own cause. That's absolutely correct. And have a great day, sir.
You too.
God bless you. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless. I can't believe I dropped that piece of a sandwich. It was only like a little piece. A little teeny tiny piece, and the sandwich too. Very distressing. People are starving. Don't be doing that. Here's Miami. Hello.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that I support the protest for one. And another thing,
What does that mean? And have you got a sock over your phone or what?
No, I don't. I'm just a me on a bad payphone. But
Okay.
what I also want to say is that
You support people that go out and block off traffic in the streets? Is that what you're saying?
well, that's how they're going about the protest, but I support the protest. How they go about it, they got to do what they got to do. That's what it-
25 cents more.
Oh, too late. He didn't have the other quarter. Fine, they got to do what they got to do. That's good. That's what Ted Bundy said too. You got to do what you got to do. That's what John Wayne Gacy said. That's what Charlie Manson said. That's what Hitler said. That's what Stalin said. And Mao Zedong. Don't forget him. Speaking of communistas, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You do what you. Yeah. Very brilliant observation, sir, and thanks for spending the quarter for your perspicacious insights into this dreck, into this repetitive dreck that never ends. By the way, I hear Los Bamban is playing this weekend in the airport. Here's a lady in Delray Beach. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen, about these Cubans, okay? It has nothing to do with the kid at all. What about our nation? We need to stick up for our nation, not for this kid.
Yeah.
I think that decision needs to be made in the best interest of the Americans, not the Cubans.
But what does the decision have to do with the interest of the Americans? I mean, it's an immigration
Well,
case.
no, I understand
We don't have
that.
people rioting over immigration cases. I mean, they made their decision, they made the ruling, and that's it.
Right, but what
now
I'm
life
saying
has
is
to
that
go on.
that the interest was made in the best interest, the decision was made in the best interest of the people of the United States.
No, it was
Did
not.
not cause problems
it
with
had
Cuba.
nothing to do with the people of the United States. It had to do with the best interest of the child.
Well, nobody cares about that kid. Believe me that the government could care less about that kid. Because
Yeah.
what about the kids who are right here in our own backyard
Yeah,
who
well,
have never been to
nobody
Disney
cares.
World?
Nobody cares about them. You know that, and I know it. Okay, it sounds like we're repeating the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah. Nobody cares, and nobody will care. He's a symbol. He's a this. He's the baby Jesus. Cut the crap, okay? Cut the crap. And let life go on, okay? Let liberty ring. Whatever the hell they said in Philadelphia before they cracked the bell and they started becoming obnoxious sports fans. See, that's one thing Ben Franklin would be real upset about, to see the nature of those Philadelphia sports fans today. He'd be pissed off. He'd probably tell them to go fly a kite. How you spelling that? Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay.
Hey, my family moved here in 1954, and that guy that called earlier that said South Florida's a better place, man, I'd like to get my hands on some of whatever he's smoking. But
maybe that's why he's having a good time.
Reason that I called up is, you know, the Cubans, I'll tell you what, I'll give them a lot of credit. No group of immigrants has ever learned how to manipulate the political system to greater effect.
How about the Sicilians?
Quicker. No, not even them.
Oh, you're dreaming, man.
Than the
How about the
Cubans
Irish?
have.
How about the Irish in Boston?
Never. No way.
You're wrong.
No way.
Oh,
Anyway, but as a group, hello?
I'm listening.
As a group,
Ted
these
Kennedy
are the
knows what
most
to do with. Yeah.
these are the most gutless people I've ever seen in my life. They had a problem in their country, and their solution was to haul ass as quick as they could.
Okay, thanks for rewriting history. Okay, sir? Thank you. Oh, God. Over and over and over, and I don't mean rewriting, I mean rehashing. Over and on and on and on, and they did this and they did that, and we don't like them, and they. See, that's what this does. If these people would stop doing this crap, and I'm talking about the few hundred assholes, if they'd stop doing it, a lot of the passage of time would eliminate a lot of this feeling. But there's never the opportunity to do that, because every time you think you got a little bit of rest, whether it's the goddamn Coast Guard thing with the dry feet, wet feet people, or whether it's Los Bamban, or whatever it is, it never stops. How many times have I told you that? Every 2 or 3 months we have to go through another one of these ordeals, because these people will not give this community a rest. And that's what a lot of them need, a rest, Ted. And not just for the day, but to be, put away for like a month and let them see how they like it in there. Give them a pack of a medianoche and a goddamn, give them a guayabera, and that's it. Get out of our face. People have lives to live. That's all. They want to live their lives. And if this were some kind of a cause celeb, some kind of a real cause involved with some kind of real legitimate issue here, maybe then people could understand, hey, even though we don't like having a traffic block, we sympathize with your plight. They don't give a crap about this kid. You're not fooling anybody. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how you doing?
Okay, sir.
You sound more like Alice Rantel to me every day.
Yeah.
You're ranting and raving like a conservative lunatic. You're bringing out.
Okay, great. 568, a conservative lunatic. Conservative. Here's another guy. Making a lot of words coming out of your mouth. Conservative lunatic. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. You don't even, go look it up, and if somebody can spell it for you, pal, go look it up in the dictionary, see what it means. Underline the dick part. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
Yeah, Neil, how are you?
Okay, sir.
Question. The other day you were talking about the 9-year-old kid that got handcuffed in West Palm Beach.
Yes, sir.
What was your take on that? I just heard part
What
of the
was my
conversation.
take on that? You didn't really say what was my take on that. Please tell me you
Yes,
didn't
I did,
say that.
because did you read the follow-up in yesterday's paper?
No.
Okay, apparently what actually happened was that twice the officer had stopped the little boy and asked him to walk his bike home before he actually gave him the handcuff. The kid kept taking off.
That wasn't a follow-up. That was in the original story. There's nothing new there. There's no new information.
Did you also read that he also gave the boy the bicycle helmet? The kid refused to use it?
Yeah. No, sir, that's not the story. They took him down after they put the cuffs on him. They took him to the police station. They gave him a bicycle helmet to try to, smooth the whole thing over.
Okay, well, that wasn't my understanding from a police
Sir,
officer.
I saw the news story on the news yesterday. They showed the actual helmet. They took him to the police station after the whole thing was over and done with to try to soothe the mother's hysteria over this. And they gave him a helmet and they said, have a great life, and that was the end of that. And they showed the videotape 45 million times. Did you see it?
Yes, they did.
Of him pushing the kid back down to the ground repeatedly over and over again. Every time the kid wanted just to stand up, he kept shoving him back down on the ground. Let me say it again, sir. In a country where freedom means anything, you don't handcuff 9-year-old kids because they're riding a bicycle without a helmet.
Well, we got a lot of problems in this country nowadays, don't we?
And most of them aren't caused by 9-year-old kids riding a bicycle without a helmet, you lunkhead. I think this guy's been playing too much goddamn football without a helmet. God. Give me a break. We had a lot of problems in this country. See, every time we get something like this, all the assholes like this guy who want a police state, who love to support the police state, they come out of the woodwork. Whatever the police do, it's okay. We don't care. And like I said, yesterday's a classic example. You had good police work and you had bad police work. Metro-Dade, great job. Hialeah, great job, in spite of what that one guy said. City of Miami, crap. Embarrassing. Here's little Joey, who's never too embarrassed.
I'm just glad I don't live anywhere near any of these protests.
Yeah.
Did you, I don't know if anybody told you, but did you, like the last 2 days they've been asking these leaders, they ask them the direct question, what do you think about the negative effects that all these protests are going to have on these people? They can't come up with a straight answer.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get this guy.
They don't care. They don't give a crap.
The answer he gave was, and I may not be quoting directly, but I mean, he said, we've suffered for 40 years, and they have to learn to suffer with us, is what he said on TV. What kind of BS answer?
Well, what is it that they've suffered? What are they suffering from? Freedom?
But that's what I don't understand. They still don't have an answer as to why they're blocking traffic, and that's the answer they come up with. Just like the other day, Ricky Sanchez asked the same question to that other guy, Raul Sanchez or whatever, and that guy went on.
It's Saul and Raul.
Yeah, whatever.
In fact, they got a new movie coming out, Eating Saul.
Yeah, well, that's the same scrubby moron that got arrested. He went on a 3-minute tirade where he ran around the question, didn't answer it, and then Ricky let him off the hook going, well, okay, that's what
Ricky is too busy worrying about the National Council of Churches and all those communistas in there.
Oh, my God.
Exactly.
Embarrassed Cuban-American here.
Okay.
See ya.
See ya, Joey. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Bada-beep, bada-boop, bada-bop, bada-bop. And you know what? In a few days, whatever it is, a couple of weeks, whenever they finally do, he'll either stay here or he'll go back. You know what I'm saying? Either he'll stay here or probably he'll go back, because I don't think they're going to change their mind. And then they'll have to go back to life. Oh, you can't say that. I just did get through saying that's the way it goes. But it's the baby Jesus. I mean, can't you tell? He looks just like the baby Jesus to me, don't he?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. They give him some cute sandals and let him grow a little beard. Well, I guess he's too young to grow one. Maybe they could, tie one on. And a beard, too. It's 18 after 1 at 560 WQM.
It's Friday, you bastard.
Boy! It used to be hot back in the good old days before the old parts came and politicians sang Jose. This town was once alive.
Yes.
They even had spring break. There were things to do all night. In Broward and in Day. But the old fart walking dead had the power to elect The crooked Julios who just got off the boat. I heard Neil Rogers cry. This is the day that Miami died. Everyone who thought that they knew best are the ones who brought us slow and painful death to Miami. Can you believe there was a time they had casinos in Hallandale? Tried to organize the crime, but the experiment had failed. When the brain dead came to town and tore the fun stuff down, they pissed all over the place. It's a big goddamn disgrace. I heard Neil Rogers cry. This is the day that Miami died. What a great place it could have been, but self-serving assholes ruined it with apathy. I heard Neil Rogers cry.
123 at 560 WQM. I will say this, we do have world-class hand grenades in the overheads at the airport. Oh! Turn for that, all right. Moving right along, singing a song. Oh, geez, we got to just get this over with, okay? It just, it churns my stomach, you know? In fact, I think that some of those stool specimens may be like a little bit twisted. Here's West Palm Beach. Hello.
How's it going, Neil?
Great.
Look, my problem is this.
What is your problem, sir?
All right. The questions that the INS asked that father down when they went to Havana to visit him were the same questions I was asked in court when I won custody of my son.
Right.
This father has a bond with that boy, and that boy should be returned to his dad.
Right.
Okay, period. And then another issue, the Cubans are in Cuba, and them are the words spoken by a member of the Cuban national volleyball team in L.A. back a few years ago when I was there. So this thing about the Cubans...
Right, the Russians are in Russia and the Cubans are in Cuba and the Americans are in America. And absolutely correct. Very good point.
Let me tell you, man, I love your
Excellent.
sense of humor here, buddy.
Okay, thanks, pal. That's right. He's got an excellent point. That's one of the great lines we've ever heard on the show. The Cubans are in Cuba. Right. But I'm a hyphenated. I don't want to hear no hyphenated, okay? You cannot be a hyphenated person. Irish American, Italian American, Jewish American, African American, North Pole American.
I'm a human American.
Oh, no, I'm not so sure about that. You're going to look carried away now. A human American? In fact, let's see those humidors at Nick's tomorrow. They got some good stuff in there. Oh, humidors? 877-785-6345 on the out-of-town line. See, even I don't know that number, and I never will. I don't. If I don't look at the thing, I don't know what that number is. 877-785-NEIL, N-E-I-L. I still don't know it. I don't want to know it. Here's a lady in Hialeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you seem to have an opinion about the little boy.
Well, doesn't everybody?
Yeah. Okay, but I don't like the opinions that you're giving.
Oh, I see.
The fact is that if you were a Cuban, you would understand how everybody,
I would understand what? Why people want to go and block the traffic in the streets
yes,
if I was
they
Cuban?
want to block the traffic because we have a word in it also. They want to send them back because nobody has stood up for this kid, and we're all showing that we're Cubans and that we could have a word in it also.
Well, I mean, when you say we, how about the 99% of the Cubans who are not out there in the streets?
That are not out in their streets because they're looking at the news and they're going and they have to go to their jobs and they have to do their things. But they also have.
Well, let me ask you. Last night, how about last night? Were those people working at their jobs last night? I don't think so.
Right, and most of them were out there.
No, they were not. Ma'am, they were not out there. There were a handful of people. There were a few dozen people in the streets last night.
But the few dozen people, they're protesting because of the fact that we have a word in it too. That little boy's mother died for him.
Okay, have a great day, ma'am. I'm not interested in arguing about the little boy. Okay, like I said, if he stays here, fine. If he goes back, fine. It's not an excuse. And please stop using and manipulating that kid for your own selfish purposes. And please stop setting yourself up as some kind of a spokesperson for the Cuban community, because you're full of crap. You're full of bullshit. God. You know who that was, by the way? Do you know who that was? See, you're a little slow today, George.
She sounded familiar.
I'll tell you who she was. Wait a minute.
I know who she was.
Here you go.
Okay, the guy that you have talking on your sports department, I heard him the other day talking about the illegals that they're getting now to play the game. And, you know, it's very clear that he's talking about the Cuban.
There you go. That's her. One Note Charlie, Thanks for having still listening, by the way, to the Neil Rogers Show on 560 WQAM, the highly rated Neil Rogers Show. Thank you, ma'am. And you're full of crap. You were full of crap when you did the voicemail months and months and months ago, last year, whenever it was, and you're still full of crap. Stop trying to justify behavior that's unacceptable, okay? We're not going to sit and tolerate people disrupting the entire community because they cannot get their way. Period. End of discussion. That is it. See ya. I have a nice weekend.
QAM drops the green flag with Motorsports Saturday.
Okay.
Saturday mornings at 6 with Joe Costello. Right here on Sports Radio 560. QAM.
Suck it in and hold it.
You've heard him squeak. You've heard him sing. Now the ferret talks dirty on a crystal clear digital recording that can now be yours. Listen to the dirty talk. Picture what he's doing to you. Let his words work their magic. It's the Ferret Talks Dirty. Available now for $69.95. Order today.
I like it. Okay, if you're not despondent enough with all the crap that's going on here, with all this professional ethnic crap, wait till you hear this. Jesse Jackson's civil rights group is pissed off and fired up over what? Over the firing of Ray Rhodes. Contending the Green Bay Packers coach was held to a higher standard than white coaches. How do you like that? Not that Jesse Jackson's a professional sportster by any means, but Charles Farrell, who promotes sports opportunities for minorities for the Rainbow Push Coalition, said he plans to send a letter to the team. How do you like that? Just like that letter we got from the Catholic League in New York. Are we pissed off about that and fired up? Wow. Farrell said the coalition also wants to meet with NFL Commissioner Paul Tagliabue to discuss the firing and the fact that only 2 black head coaches remain in the NFL. So the fact that they had a disastrous season, the fact that he evidently, according to most experts, is a real marginal crappy coach, that shouldn't count. The fact that he's black, let's keep him in there. Oh! Would a white coach have been dismissed with an 8-8 record, Farrell said Friday from his New York office? Why hire a coach for 4 years and then dismiss after 1? Packers spokeswoman Paula Martin said Friday she couldn't immediately respond to the coalition's comments. She did not be immediately responded. Rhodes was dismissed after the Packers' 6-year playoff run ended. Also dismissed were 2 black assistant coaches, offensive coordinator Sherman Lewis and defensive coordinator Emmett Thomas. It's heavy in terms of losing a head black coach and sidetracking sidetracking head coaching aspirations of 2 additional coaches, Farrell said. How do you like that, huh? Not that they're playing the race card, you understand, but he must have been picked upon because of the fact that he be black. I am so, you know something? Jesse Jackson, I'm surprised that he's not here marching in the streets with the protesters. I guess he's too busy worrying about Ray Rhodes these days. Yeah. You know who he ought to be worried about? He ought to be worried about Randy Rhodes. Because I heard a rumor yesterday that Queer Channel took her and, who's the asshole, Jack Cole, Old King Cole, and put him on some like marginal 10-watt station up there in Palm Beach that nobody can hear anywhere. That's the rumor I'm hearing. No, you ain't going to be talking to Broward no more, sweetheart. So what the hell? What is South Florida going to do now? They're going to have a Jap attack. Yeah, no more Japs on here. Now that the hunchback of radio is getting her, having an operation on her back and her Arbitron ratings. What the hell's going to happen down here? Jesus Christ. I guess I'll just play that every day. For 30 seconds, we'll give you a pre-announced time, and I'll just play every day to pacify that void in your lives. Boy, that's pretty bad news. Heavy duty. Here's a lady in Miami. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen to this, how bogus. I subscribe to the Herald. I get my paper today, open it up, and there's a postcard in it with Elián's face, and it's addressed to the Honorable Bill and Hillary Clinton.
It's in the paper?
It was in the paper.
Wasn't in my paper, thank God.
Oh, I'm outraged. I'm going to call it
I would have Schmidt-canned it.
Bogus. Thanks, Neil. Bye.
Okay. How do you like that?
Paid for by who? She didn't say.
Paid for by the who? Oh, no, paid for by the guess who. I thought they were Canadian. Huh? I don't know. Who cares? I mean, does that surprise anybody in this town?
No.
Of course not. In fact, I'm surprised that I'm surprised Tom Fiedler wasn't there in his yellow raincoat out there in the middle of the protest march blocking the streets yesterday. 567-0560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Here's a mobile in Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil, how's it going?
Great.
Listen, I listen to your show once in a while I get a chance.
Just comment a little bit on what the guy said a little while ago. Regarding, how people call in and criticize, basically, you have a lot to say about when there's a protest going on, but you talk about the past, about Cuba and, the history and all that. You basically don't really understand what the problem is in Cuba, because you talk about, like, if you could just let it go water under the bridge. You can't just do that, because there's a lot of people suffering over there.
Sir, there are a lot of people suffering all over the world. There are people living under totalitarian rule in hundreds of countries all over the world, and I can't spend the rest of my life worrying about that. I live here. I'm worried about the injustices here.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
worried
but
about the bad
remember,
education system
we have
here.
family. We have a family that are suffering, so
You
we
know
have to
something,
do
sir? There are people from China who have relatives in China.
Hey,
there
let
are
them
people
go out
from
there and
Russia.
protest.
What is it?
That's the beauty about this country.
No,
Let them go out there
sir,
and
let me
protest.
say it to you
And if
again.
it bothers
Sir,
the people,
the
if it bothers the
protesting,
people,
I'm not going to listen to some shouting asshole, okay, sir? Protesting is one thing. Blocking off the streets, disrupting the airport, screwing up the community for everybody else, for law-abiding citizens, has got nothing to do with the American way. And like I said before, listening to a bunch of banana boat people making up their version of libertad, it makes me want to barf. Don't be screaming and yelling at me libertad when you don't know what it means. Please. And I do not see, it's just like the Jesse Jackson thing I just got through reading. It's unacceptable. Being a professional ethnic is unacceptable. And in the meantime, if you got relatives over there, keep sneaking the money and whatever you're doing over there like you have been doing for the last 40 years, and life will go on and they'll do the best they can. That's the way the world works. But don't try to burden all the rest of us here who aren't interested in that. We don't care. I had relatives in Russia and in Poland, who knows where the hell they came from, and in Germany. I don't care. Not interested. It's water over the bridge. Just like the people who want to keep going back and visiting the concentration camps. All I can say is, why? That's my,
Why?
Yeah. What kind of a vacation is that? What kind of a trip is that? Does it make you feel better? Does it cleanse your soul? Like we haven't already seen the documentary pictures 8 million times, those gruesome pictures of them shoveling the skeletons into the goddamn ground. Haven't we all seen those 50 million times?
Uh-huh.
So what's the point? How about being productive, worthwhile, living and breathing, and stop wallowing in the past and all these injustices and all that? Life has to go on. Life is for the living and breathing. And if you've got an axe to grind, take whatever legal methods you've got to correct those, but not illegal. Not messing up life for everybody else. And not constantly threatening and threatening and threatening. If we don't get our way, we're going to take our goddamn marbles out in the streets. It's not acceptable, sir, period. How many times do I have to say that to you? And, of course, when you're rude and obnoxious, just like you were on the phone wouldn't have a conversation, what's to be expected? And you see the way these people were in the streets when the police, came by. And the police weren't hassling anybody until those people refused to, get off the goddamn street. And let me say it again for the 8 millionth time. Nice going, Metro-Dade. Oh! Nice going, boys. Girls. Or whatever they are. Here's a mobile in Fort Lauderdale. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil, how's it going?
Okay.
Just wanted to say it's a nice day to you. And I do agree with your views on the fact that the kid should go back because it is his father. I don't agree with the way that they're going about it as far as blocking off streets. And all I got to say is if I was down in Miami and I was in a work truck and they blocked the street.
Okay, great. Here's a mobile in Boca. Hello.
Hey, Neil, how's it going?
Okay.
I got a couple of things for you.
Yes, sir.
First of all, the proceeds.
Wait a minute. Was that little Elián you had in the back there squealing for? If that's you,
people
Elián.
at the gas station. I'm at the gas station.
If that's the baby Jesus.
That
Once
baby Jesus.
for yes and twice for no.
Hey,
Let me out of
the
here.
little polls that Channel 7 was doing.
Yeah.
I think that it's very possible that it's just maybe the only people who cared enough to pay 50 cents to tell Channel 7 what they thought was the people who actually thought that Elián should stay here.
Yeah, but it's interesting. The Channel 4 poll was absolutely, it was 62 to 38% against, 62% in favor of sending Elián back to Cuba, and Channel 7 is the only one for some reason. I guess that must be the one that a lot of the Julios are watching and calling over and over and over again. It must be.
Oh, right, over and
Even
over
better,
and over
they
again.
just don't watch Channel 4.
Exactly. I think we should just trade him for a couple boxes of cigars and send him on his way. That way everybody gets something out of it.
There you go.
See you later.
Have a great day. 877-785-6345 is our number on the out-of-town line. Do you remember that number, Neil, by any chance?
No.
877-785-6345. Here's Miami Beach. Hello.
Hey, Neil.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
Good.
Parents Cuban. I was born here. I'm kind of disgusted with what I saw yesterday. If the United States needed an enema, they insert the tube here in Dade County because it's full of Schmidt.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
And as far as Elián Ross Laitman goes, I was watching her yesterday on television.
I don't know what he just said. That's why I dumped it. I have no idea. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Did we miss anything good there?
No.
I doubt it. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
I would like to talk about Jimmy and Daddy.
Yeah. Hey, Hammer. I'm sorry. 5670560, pound 560 on the AT&T wireless line. Every time I think of that, well, why is it that they say that? I mean, they, you know, them. You know who I'm talking about, them?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Hey, Hammer. Maybe Hank can answer that question. Oh, Hank's busy finding out about Cecil and his affair with that woman, I think. Here's Miami. Hello.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
Hey. I don't know about people. That's so funny. Hey, listen, I called yesterday to the Jorge.
Yeah. You sound like one of those chronics to me.
No, man. Listen.
Yeah, you
listen.
sound like one of the chronics to me. Yeah, man.
I
you
called
sound like
Jorge.
one of the chronics.
No, well,
Yeah, you are. 5670560, pound 560 on it. See, I'm starting to get really good now because we've had so many Julios discussing these things the last couple of days that I'm becoming a Julio voice expert.
Yeah, you can tell the difference now.
Exactly. This one sounds like un gran manicón to me. Grandissimo. Here's Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad that the Miami police.
Can't hear you, sir.
Okay. I'm glad that the Miami.
Go.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad that the Miami police kind of did something because if it were black people out there, would have been some heads busted. Okay. And the Cubans ought to be kissing America's ass because. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're not. If they want to go over there and free that country.
Okay, thank you. 19 before 2 at 560 WQM. I just, some of these calls have to be very short because we've already heard that 55 million times. I don't want to waste my time with that caca anymore, okay? Too much caca, you know what? Yeah. Not good for you.
Are you done with that, by the way?
With the caca?
Yeah.
Peter Clayton said too much caca is good for you. What is it? Of course, look what happened to him.
Sampling?
Sampling what?
Of caca?
Oh, no, I'm not. I have one more day of... no, I'm not sampling. I have to provide samples, specimens, smearing on that little thing. Oh, we were talking before the show this morning, George and I, about those glorious days many years ago. I shouldn't have said glory. Those wonderful days. You know who it was? It was the old Channel 4, which is now Channel 6. They did the thing with the home colon cancer tests, where you smeared a little on that card and you mailed it to Channel 4. And I remember, I'll never forget, it was on ID. I'll never forget the day that story came on about the postmen were swooning from the people who had packaged too loosely or who had gone too loosely or too loose la dress or whatever that thing was. Yeah.
Caca.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, man. Don't send any crap. Talk about Schmidt mail. God. I don't want to go into that, okay? But it's not a very pleasant thing, I'll tell you that right now, to have to dig all these little samples and put them in tubes and smear. I mean, come on. And I don't think that they really do any tests on those when you bring them in. I think that they diddle with it, I think that they know they're Schmidt.
They write on the wall with it.
Is that what they do? 17. That's not what Peter Clayton said they did with it. Of course, he died, He died. He was a restaurant critic, Peter Clayton. Did I ever tell a story about the time that Bill Calder and I were... I don't want to tell a story. He brought in those things for us that looked like big, gigantic...
You turd.
Yeah. And we just couldn't keep a straight puss. In fact, I was laughing so hard, I was standing up against the wall in the studio, rocking with laughter, just holding myself up against the wall, almost peeing in my pants. And there was poor Bill on the air. I think that's what put him over the edge. Peter Clayton, he was a real connoisseur. He knew his Schmidt.
Scott's awful.
17 before 2 at 5. That was his favorite musician, by the way, was the Scat Man.
Radio 560 QAM.
It's Friday, you bastard. Yes.
I'm here
to lead the Catholics like no one ever did. To brainwash the heretics who live their life in sin. I will travel across the world, speaking against new thoughts and ideas, and continue to dress like a girl until they learn to fear. And get religion just like me, and join the archdiocese. Catholic real estate is what we must defend. Believe what I say to you. That my fairy tales are true, or I'll lift my dress and say peekaboo. Look at my wrinkly balls.
Okay, it's 147 at 560. He's got the big ones, boy, the Pope. Make no mistake about that. That's what the Swiss Guards say, anyway. Where are we going? I'll tell you one thing. We've been smoking here today, and we'll be smoking it next tomorrow, by the way, from noon to 2. Some really good stuff, and maybe some cigars, too. Here's the mobile in Boca. Hello.
Neil.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Buenas tardes.
You know, I just want to make a couple quick comments
yes,
because this has all been talked to death. But what incenses me probably the most is
Let me ask you a question. What incenses you probably the most?
What incenses me probably the most
yes.
is the fact that, and I think you touched on it several times before, was using the word libertad. Give me a break.
Oh.
When you see these people waving the Cuban flag, screaming and yelling and bitching and moaning about a child who is rightfully going back to his parents,
right?
Why don't we turn the clock back and say this? This is a child who is going back to his father, where at least the child can be raised. Forget the environment, forget the so-called communista environment. When Franklin Roosevelt turned back a boat called the St. Louis.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, but wait a minute. We don't have to go that far back. Let's go back to 1980, okay, in the Mariel boat lift.
Right.
And the same people and their relatives who are doing all the screaming now, the same people who are obsessed, they were the ones that are screaming so much against Castro now, they were the ones who were yelling in favor of the Mariel boat lift from a very selfish standpoint because their relatives were coming in. But in the meantime, Castro was making fools out of us by sending all of his mental patients and his hardened criminals over here. And as a result, this town turned into a toilet for a couple of years, and we had shootings and rampant crime. This town was like a slaughterhouse for years because those people demanded that those people all be allowed to come in. So when it's convenient, when there's expedient, oh, Fidel is evil and this and that. But when Fidel wants to send over all his goddamn worst slime over here, that's okay because we want our relatives to come over here. It's strictly selfish. It's us, me, and those people can drop dead.
Amen. Amen.
All 800 of them. And God bless you. No, seriously, it's just a few hundred assholes, that's all. I don't forget that quickly. It was 20 years ago. And anybody who, Libertad, yeah, but dare speak out against the Mariel boat lift and that kind of immigration non-policy that turned this town into a toilet, into a nightmare. Oh, God forbid you should actually have the chutzpah to give a different point of view. Yeah, libertad for everybody who says things that are okay with us. It's never been any different. It'll never be the same with that element of nutcases in this town. Well, guess what? That ain't what liberty's all about. Here's Plantation. Hello.
Hi, Neil. How you doing today?
Okay, sir.
I want to talk about the thing that you said with the coach that got fired.
Ray Rhodes.
Packers. Right.
Packer. He was a Packer, by the way.
In a similar story, I read today in the newspaper that they wanted to raise the score in Florida for passing the bar exams.
Right.
Now, forget the fact that raising the score is going to give us better lawyers, but the protest against that was that if you raise the score 5%, 5 points as they wanted to raise it, that it was going to make it more difficult for the blacks and the Hispanics to become lawyers. And that's why they say they're doing it.
Yeah, court to consider, somebody just faxed me that story, court to consider raising the bar score for the first time in nearly 20 years. Florida Supreme Court will consider raising the passing score in a bar exam. However, the minorities right away, are all upset because they're not going to be able to cut the cheese.
Right, exactly. Forget the fact that we're just going to have the best lawyers in the
top.
Right,
that's right.
I mean, how would they feel if those were the way the tests went for your airline pilots? Well, we got to have blacks, even though we might crash our plane.
Right, there's somebody who's going to perform open heart surgery on you next weekend.
Exactly, yeah. I just thought that that's kind of an even more important message to our society than the coach being fired, but in the same vein, the same story.
Yeah, but Jesse's got his priorities, man.
And I don't give a damn about Elián. He can come or stay, just like you said. Our lives are going to go on, and I agree.
Life goes on. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
That's right. That's the point. If he stays here, I have no problem with that. I could understand it. Although, of course, I'm becoming quite agitated because now it would be viewed as caving in to these hysterical people. I'll say it again. You people have done more harm to your own cause and even I can't give you a number, but a tremendous number of people who totally sympathized with your viewpoint and said, yeah, the mother risked her lives and she died, and the boyfriend, and he was rescued in a raft, and now he's got a chance for freedom, and he's got relatives here who love him. I can understand that. But by your behavior, if they did reverse the decision, it would again appear that they'd be caving into your obnoxious, unacceptable behavior, and it would also set the precedent again, so that the next time something happens you don't like, you'll go out there and do it again. This town isn't going to tolerate that, and the politicians and the people in law enforcement and everybody with a ball and a brain has got to say that. We're not going to continue tolerating this, that every time you don't get your way, you're going to screw up life for everybody who lives here and keep threatening and threatening and threatening. No mas. What, did he say that? Here's Mobile in Miami Lakes, the wrong line. Hello.
What's up, Neil?
Yes, sir.
I am an American son of Cuban immigrants.
Jeff?
I have a bone to pick. Not with you because you are the greatest. Not with the Cubans and not with the cops. I have a problem with the Channel 7 pilot of the helicopter that was over my house in Little Havana for 2 hours last night, waiting for something, keeping me up. You are a douchebag. I hate you. Die.
Okay. Amen. Yeah, Rick Sanchez was probably squatting over this poor guy's house in the helicopter. He was squatting on it. And he also, I hear the rumor is he was driving that red car. Everybody hear that rumor?
Uh-huh.
That's the rumor I'm hearing today. Here on 560 QAM. There was Rick Sanchez speeding his way back to work at Channel 7 after stopping at the Arepa Queen for a quick snack. You think Rick Sanchez knows the Arepa Queen?
Yes!
He knows Brian Andrews. Here's Boca. Hello.
Hello.
And Bill Kamal. Yes, sir.
Hey, Neil. Neil?
I'm here.
Like your show. Talk about cops squatting on people's houses. You'll like this. October 1st, I'm sitting on my porch, the house I own in Boca, an epileptic here with a BB gun. And I wasn't using it. It was beside me. It always is. Well, the cops came by, saw the BB gun, asked me about it. I told them about it. And about 45 minutes later, to an hour later, 2 flash bombs went off beside me, blew up my windows, and the entire SWAT team, descended on me in my backyard, pinned me down, broke my shoulder, cut my arm, my face, etc., cuffed my feet, my hands.
Now, did you have your bicycle helmet on or not?
All right. I did have a nail gun, but it was 50 feet away in the garage, which, by the way, they asked me if I had ordnance. I says, does that count? Anyway,
Yeah.
well, so they,
maybe what upset him was when you started doing your little Jimmy Johnson routine, saying we got a shot. That might have set him off.
we got
a shot.
Well, take this. When I got outside, there was every cop car and bomb squad and fire engine and of course all my neighborhood people videotaping me. I felt I was good. They took me to the hospital. I said, am I charged with anything? No. Am I a criminal? No. Any tickets, citations? No. You've done nothing wrong, sir. And I went home. The SWAT team. Now, October 1st, get a copy of it. You like it. The front page, October 1st of Boca Raton News, probably several others, it shows the SWAT team. I know you're talking about all the horses in Miami.
Yes, sir.
So here you go. The entire SWAT team. They mobilized. They paid all this money for what? An epileptic on a porch? With a BB gun? My next door neighbor's got 3 of them.
Okay, well, don't do it again. You have any idea what he just said? Here's Miami Shores. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hi, how are you doing?
Great.
I just wanted to touch on a couple of points, and I don't want to
Touch away,
reiterate no different thing. But I agree with most of what you said today, but I really, really agree with you with your comments about the local media. They've given the Cuban community and the 200 or 300 protesters an elevated importance locally.
Not
and they've also
elevated
done
importance, but they've created so much animosity here. They continue polarizing and polarizing and polarizing and pissing people off and whipping people up into a frenzy over much ado about nothing. There's been hardly anybody out there.
Exactly. But, they've always had that ability to play the media and get that disproportionate sense of importance.
And to tell you how desperate they are today, it's so boring. There's nothing going on. The Channel 7's got the Rockford Files. Now, it's got to be desperate when they're showing the Rockford Files.
I left from downtown near the Federal Building about noon. They had a lot of beefed-up security around there, but there wasn't anyone there.
No.
But the point I wanted to make is that I think that this might be the time that this backfires on them, playing the media like that, not just locally, but nationally, especially in light of what happened with the Haitians very recently. With everybody being sent back, and it's such a clear double standard.
Right.
And on the front page of the Miami Herald today, the story about the Haitian kids who were sent back to Haiti while their mom is still in Miami, who were on that boat, it's down there in the corner. And everything else that's newsworthy locally has just been ignored.
Yeah.
The other thing, there's a lot of hypocrisy here, not just with the Haitians, but with all the free speech and right to protest issues. For them, they have those rights. But anyone else, they're going to exercise a heckler's veto.
Right.
And they're going to attack everyone else.
Yeah, anybody that wants to perform here that isn't their cup of tea, they're going to do everything in their power to keep them from doing it. That's not liberty.
Listen, I'm 45 years old. I grew up down here and spent a number of years in Tampa. I was called an N-word a lot more here in the last 8 or 9 years than the rest of my life combined up to that point.
Yeah.
And it's also very intimidating the way that they go after people that disagree with them. And I want to compliment you. You have some really Berg-sized balls for handling things the way you have today on the air.
Elephantitis. Have a great day, pal.
Okay, you too.
Hang in there. Okay, let's go to Miami. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Neil. Yeah, Channel 10's poll also had a majority against the riots and
what was the numbers?
Or in favor
Give me a ballpark
of sending
figure.
aliens. It was 70-some-odd% in favor of sending him back against the riots. And
Yeah, see, I think they all zeroed in for whatever reason on Channel 7, maybe because
Right.
of that Rick Sanchez fixation. And I guess that was before they realized he was the guy that was driving a red car.
Well, I flipped to Channel 7 right afterwards, and it was like 90%, in favor of the chaos that was going on. So I kind of had to say,
Yeah, something
wonder
like well, I
what
think
Channel
Rick
7
voted 1,600 times in that poll, though. That was part of the problem.
He might have been, but the question I have, if this is only, a few hundred of the fringe elements, where, I'd like to believe that most of the Cuban community doesn't agree with these actions, and where, where are they? Why aren't they speaking out? And I don't mean calling the radio station and saying, "Hey, I'm Cuban too."
From what George was telling me, a lot of them called the Spanish language radio and yesterday and were very disgusted by this, which is pretty unique. That rarely happens in this town. But they were calling Spanish language radio stations and talking about how humiliated and embarrassed they were and trying to separate themselves from this kind of crap.
Well, they need to separate themselves and speak out where it counts. That's at the next election when Mayor Pinhead.
Yeah,